Dragon Ball. Creation and Destruction. Chapter 21. Master Supreme Kai. Jabba came from not far away, and after seeing Majin Buu appear, his face became very ugly. Jabba, it's over, I'm afraid this universe is not saved. Supreme Kai's face was sweating coldly. He really released Majin Buu. Jabba gritted his teeth. Hoo. Although Majin Buu has returned to his original shape, his injuries are serious. That was the slap of Beerus. This slap just used less than 10% of the power of Beerus. Otherwise, it would have been slapped to death. This is so, Buu was seriously injured as a result. Will you continue to fight? Or be honest and obedient? Beerus smiled. I want to turn you into chocolate. Buu was angry, and the tentacles on his head projected a pink flame. The pink flame was like lightning, whizzing towards Beerus. Seeing the flying pink flame, Beerus slapped it again, and directly slapped the pink flame into the air. Buu's eyes widened and his face was incredulous. As long as my magic touches someone, the other person will become the food I want. He touched it with his hand and it was all right. Is there anything else you can do? Let's do it quickly. Beerus smiled. Majin Buu was a bit hard to get off for a while. If you don't have one, just be obedient and get something done for me. Beerus snorted, otherwise, it's like this thing. Beerus said, pointing his finger at the mountain not far away. Snapped. The entire mountain was turned into dregs at that time, leaving nothing behind. Buu was dumbfounded. Supreme Kai was dumbfounded. Jabba rubbed his eyes vigorously. Now, are you obedient? My patience is limited, Beerus said with a cold face. Buu was terrified at the time and didn't dare to repeat it. Immediately afterwards, Buu nodded and bowed to Beerus, bowing his head to become a courtier. That's right, Beerus nodded in satisfaction. It seems that you are not stupid, although the image looks a little stupid. Buu lowered his head, his eyes were fierce, daring not to speak. Whis, let's go. Beerus greeted Whis. Next, go and meet Frieza. Okay, Lord Beerus. Whis nodded. That's right. Beerus suddenly turned his head to look at Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai is completely confused now. Who the hell is this cat? Why is it so strong? Even Majin Buu is willing to bow to his court. Supreme Kai, have you followed our universe these years? Beerus asked. Follow our universe? Supreme Kai was stunned. What do you mean? Why can't I understand what you want to do? Who are you guys? What is your purpose for releasing Majin Buu? Do you want to rule the entire universe? Supreme Kai asked loudly. Beerus sighed. Whis also shook his head slightly. Whis, should I release the old Supreme Kai guy? Beerus really didn't bother to explain to Supreme Kai. This guy is a novice. I'm afraid it can't be explained in a few words. I'm not so busy explaining these things to him. Forget it, let's go. Beerus shook his head. I'm afraid he hasn't paid attention to our universe, so he should focus all his attention on Buu. It seems to be. Whis smiled slightly. The next two people will decide Frieza and his brother. Beerus groaned. Okay. Whis nodded. Call out. Whis and Beerus immediately took Majin Buu into a shining flame, quickly left the earth, and disappeared in a flash. Supreme Kai and Jabite stared at each other. Who are these two guys? Can you make it clear before leaving? Master Supreme Kai, who are they? Jabite asked. I don't know. The first time I saw such a powerful guy. Supreme Kai shook his head blankly. I didn't expect such a powerful person to exist in this universe. Jabite said solemnly, he is much stronger than the Demon King Dapla. I don't know how many times he is. What's the origin of that cat? Supreme Kai scratched his head vigorously. I feel so incomprehensible. Am I dreaming today? ... Frieza planet number 35. Frieza has moved the palace to this planet. The previous palace on planet 83 was destroyed by Beerus, and it was not shameful enough to stay. The palace on planet 35 is larger than that on planet 83, and looks more luxurious and majestic. Your Excellency Frieza, now Lord Beerus has awakened, shall we continue to lead this universe? Kekuno asked cautiously. Kekuno, did I ever say that I want to rule this universe? Frieza asked back with a black face. Kekuno, didn't you say it? You all call yourself the King of Frieza. Kekuno, you have to figure out one thing, Lord Frieza never meant to rule the entire universe. Bailey Brew smiled. Kekuno's face was dumbfounded. Dodoria and Sabo on the side are even more clueless as the monks of the second sun. Did we go to the wrong set? Does Lord Frieza mean to rule the entire universe? Who believes it? Why, do you also think Lord Frieza wants to rule this universe? Bailey Brew asked when he looked at the Frieza's personal brothers who were present. The boys dare not say anything. Don't talk too much at this time, so as not to encounter unreasonable disasters. We are going to suppress the planet and kill the original inhabitants in order to sell them at high prices to those aliens who have lost their homes and are in trouble. We are doing business, Bailey Brow explained with a smile. Yes, Bailey Blow is right. Frieza nodded in satisfaction. Worthy of being my personal nanny. I really love what you say. At the same time, we must destroy some obtrusive planets by the way, and let this universe grow in an orderly manner. Frieza smiled slightly. The little brothers were confused again. Destroying the obtrusive planet will allow the universe to grow in an orderly manner. Do you have any comments? Frieza turned to look at Kikono, Sabo and others. The boys shook their heads vigorously one by one, cold sweat broke out on their faces. It turns out that we are only doing business. Huh. When Frieza's voice just fell, Whis and Beerus also descended from the sky with Majin Buu and appeared in Frieza's palace. Frieza, that's good. Beerus smiled. Yes, it's Lord Beerus. Frieza saluted immediately, and squinted at Bellblow. Bellblue understood what Frieza meant, and immediately greeted the boys present to leave the scene. Suddenly, only Frieza and Beerus were left in the palace. I don't know what the Lord Beerus is looking for. Frieza glanced secretly, and Beerus looked at the fat man standing beside him again. Who is this pink guy? I asked you to destroy planet Vegeta, who did you tell? Beerus asked with a dark face. I didn't say anyone. Frieza was taken aback and hurriedly responded. Really no one said it? Beerus asked, squinting. I only mentioned it to my personal babysitter, Bellbrow. The problem is that Bellbrow was on the scene when Mr. Beerus told me to do something. Frieza broke into a cold sweat. Where is your brother? Where is it? Beerus just asked casually. At least the Saiyan named Chi Tien didn't catch this matter and let it go. Besides, as gods of destruction, I want to destroy planet Vegeta. Do I still care about the feelings of a Saiyan? If it weren't for the delicious milk tea made by him, I wouldn't bother to ask Frieza. My brother. Frieza was a little dazed. Lord Beerus, why can't I keep up with your rhythm? What do you mean by my brother? I don't understand more and more. Yes, your brother Cooler. Contact him immediately and ask him to leave for your planet right away. Beerus said, also, prepare some big meals for me by the way. I want to have a good meal. Yes, Lord Beerus. Frieza responded immediately, picked up the communicator, and got in touch with Cooler. Frieza, what is it for me? Cooler asked. Cooler, let me make a long story short, Master Beerus is in my palace. Master Beerus wants you to come right away. Frieza said to Cooler. What, Lord Beerus? Cooler's face changed again and again. By the way, how long will it take him to reach this planet? Beerus asked. Master Beerus, my place is a bit far from the planet where Frieza is located. It will take about 2 days to arrive. Cooler responded immediately. 2 days is 2 days. Let's leave now, Beerus ordered. Yes, Lord Beerus. Cooler didn't know what Beerus was looking for, but he didn't dare to ask. After hanging up, Cooler left immediately. In Frieza's palace, Whis and Beerus are letting go of eating and drinking. The cuisine of this planet is just like that. At present, there is really no suitable food to eat. Boo also sat at the table and started eating. After taking a bite, Boo's eyes lit up. Unexpectedly, the food here is quite delicious. It's much more delicious than human transformed things. Master Beerus. Frieza cautiously leaned over and asked, I don't know if you are looking for me and Cooler, do you have any instructions? Have an appointment with the 6th universe side, are you confident? Beerus took a bite of a chicken leg and asked while looking at Frieza. 6th universe, the game, what game? Frieza asked. It's fighting, and there are 3 people on one side. Beerus explained briefly, I hope you don't shame me. In other words, besides me and my brother Cooler, are the 3 people on our side any other people? Frieza looked at Majin Buu. Yes, he is Majin Buu, should your father have heard of him? Beerus smiled slightly. What, Majin Buu? Frieza lost her voice, her face slightly discolored. Dad once warned me, Lord Beerus and Majin Buu. Don't provoke them. It turns out that this fat guy is Majin Buu. What a hell. Master Beerus, what is the sixth universe? Frieza couldn't help asking. Beerus glanced at Frieza. You really have enough questions. I don't want to know myself and the enemy, and win every battle. Frieza laughed. You can understand it as the mirror universe of our universe. Beerus replied. Mirror universe. In other words, besides our universe, is there another universe? Frieza had a long experience today. Not bad. Beerus nodded. Sixth universe. Champa planet. Chi Tien used all the strength to eat milk, but he didn't even touch the corner of Vado's clothes. Chi Tien, it's been an hour. Vados smiled. Chi Tien nodded lightly, tore off the black cloth covering his eyes, and put it away casually. Not bad, I didn't expect that your talent is really amazing. In just 1 hour, ZGE is about to get started. Vados smiled. If this goes on, maybe you are really qualified to become an intern angel. Woolen cloth. So I don't need to be an intern gods of destruction. Chi Tien grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. It depends on your state of mind. It's like Master Champa or Master Beerus. With their state of mind, they can't comprehend the true self-consciousness anyway. Vados smiled. I don't think there is a big problem with my state of mind. My heart is as clear as this lake on the planet. Chi Tien pointed to the lake not far away. Vados, you can really brag. I can't keep up with your progress. Your state of mind doesn't seem to be a big problem at the moment, except for being a little bit ill-intentioned. Vados wiped his sweat. Well, you and my first love look almost exactly the same, and it's normal for me to be unkind to you. Chi Tien didn't deny it. Vados, you are pretty real. Can you brew me a cup of coffee now? Vados is not interested in Chi Tien's first love or anything. I just want to drink the milk tea you made for me. I want to taste it. What is the taste of the coffee with milk you mentioned? I always find coffee difficult to drink. Okay, help me prepare coffee beans and milk. Chi Tien said. No problem. The crystal ball on the scepter in Vados's hand flickered. Suddenly, coffee beans and milk appeared out of thin air. How do you usually drink coffee? Chi Tien asked. Of course the coffee beans are ground into powder and brewed with hot water. Vados replied. Your ancient brewing method, of course, will feel that coffee is not good. Chi Tien smiled and said, if this kind of thing is compressed with water vapor, the aroma of coffee can be better extracted. Really, I didn't expect there to be other brewing methods. Vados is quite knowledgeable. In terms of eating and drinking, Vados feels like a noob. Okay, today I will let you taste my craft. Chi Tien pointed at the coffee beans lightly, and an invisible energy acted on the coffee beans. In the blink of an eye, these coffee beans are rapidly spinning and pulverized. Chi Tien compresses coffee powder with energy. The coffee powder was squeezed and deformed by Chi Tien with both hands. Vados, your technique of squeezing coffee powder, how does it look weird? White gas emerged from Chi Tien's hands. These white gases are all emitted by Chi Tien's energy. After the white gas acts on the coffee powder also drips down slowly. Cup, Chi Tien instructed Vados. Okay. Vados conjured a cup and took the coffee off casually. Soon, such a cup of coffee was brewed by Chi Tien. To be precise, only half a cup. Afterwards, Chi Tien added milk and sugar, and shook it evenly. Immediately afterwards, Chi Tien took a sip in silence. Well, the taste is okay, you can taste it. Chi Tien handed the cup to Vados. Vados, do you let me taste the coffee you have drunk? Vados hesitated for a while. But soon, Vados smelled the aroma of coffee. Especially with the smell of milk, it smells more refreshing. Vados couldn't take care of that much, so he took a bite. If it doesn't taste good, then take care of you. If it tastes good, I won't embarrass you. After this bite, Vados' eyes lit up. Immediately afterwards, Vados' eyebrows danced. There is sweetness in the bitterness, and the taste of milk is fused again, it's absolutely amazing. Vados tutted. I have never had such a delicious coffee. It turns out that coffee is drunk like this. Dare to drink all the coffee I drank before. Today is the first time to make coffee, and the effect is not very good. Chi Tien smiled and said, when I have time, I will make it again for you to taste. It's more enjoyable than drinking milk tea. Vados clicked his mouth, unfinished. Sister Vados, what do you think is the difference between my current strength and that hit? Qi Tian asked. Vados was taken aback for a moment, and silently looked at Qi Tian. After a short silence, the gap with him is still quite big. Vados told the truth. About how many times? Qi Tian asked again. At least 1,000 times. Vados replied, but your potential is much greater than him. Hit has been alive for more than 1,000 years, and the potential in his body has almost been exhausted, and the future improvement will not be too high. Go on. In a few years, if you can master the true self-consciousness, no matter what kind of opponent you are, you will be able to deal with it easily. It's still 1,000 times worse, so to speak, if I continue to compress my combat effectiveness, I might be able to surpass Hit. Qi Tian held his chin and said in deep thought. Vados, is your kid listening to me? What I mean is that in a few years, you will be able to comprehend the true self-consciousness and defeat Hit easily. It's good for you, but don't forget to compress your combat effectiveness. I continue to compress the combat effectiveness. After Qi Tian finished speaking, he ran to the distance to continue to compress the combat effectiveness. Vados clutched his forehead, not knowing what to say. 1 hour later, boom, Vados suddenly heard a loud noise in the distance. Vados looked in the direction of Qi Tian, and his pretty face was immediately filled with surprise. This kid, how did he do it? How do I feel that his strength has suddenly increased by 100 times? The speed of this kid's improvement is too fast. Hey, it succeeded. Qi Tian laughed loudly. Vados. Vados was really stunned. This is the first time I have seen this weird way of cultivation. At this time, Qi Tian can clearly feel his own strength greatly improve. Because just now, Qi Tian changed the radius of the detector from 5 to 6 by compressing the combat power. 100 to the 6th power. Converted into numbers. 1 trillion combat power. Sister Vados, with my current strength, how much is worse than Hit? Qi Tian smiled and walked forward and asked, is it only 10 times worse? So, you tried to attack me with all your strength. Vados thought for a while, and greeted Qi Tian. Okay, then I'm not welcome. Qi Tian nodded, the energy on his body emerged madly. Swish, just in the blink of an eye, Qi Tian left a phantom in the same place, whizzing away in the direction where Vados was. It's fast. Vados nodded slightly. Be careful, I'm going to attack. Qi Tian said, greeted Vados with a fierce punch. Snapped. Vados stretched out a finger and easily blocked Qi Tian's attack. Qi Tian was full of emotions. As expected of Angel. I was so strong, but she was still blocked by a finger. It seems that I still need to keep working hard. How do you feel? Qi Tian asked. Vados. I blocked your attack with a finger, and you actually asked me how I felt. Don't you think I am strong? What? Vados didn't react in a daze. How far is there from Hit? Qi Tian asked. Actually, I haven't fought Hit before, so let me talk about your gap. I'm not very good at saying it, but I can only approximate it. Vados said, I'm afraid it will be 100 times different. You just said it was 1,000 times worse, and now I have improved by 100 times. It is supposed to be 10 times worse. You are good, how come it is 100 times worse? Is your mathematics not good enough? Qi Tian took it back fist. I was just comforting you. Who knew you were making progress so quickly? Vados rolled his eyes. Is it really only 100 times worse this time? Qi Tian asked. Qi Tian felt that according to the algorithm of combat effectiveness, it seemed that compared with Hit, it was still a lot worse. If my current strength doubles 100 times, it will be 100 trillion. The fighting power of Golden Frieza has reached 1 gram. I remember that Jinglai was behind Zhao. In this way, according to the algorithm of combat effectiveness, I am about 10,000 times worse than Hit. Vados, you scam. You said I am not far from him now. Are you comforting me again? How do you compare? Qi Tian couldn't help asking. I made a comparison between your punch and his usual fight. Vados said, drinking coffee again, well, it's delicious. I know. Qi Tian nodded slightly. How old is Hit? How old are you? You are only 16 years old this year. You have been practicing since you were born, but you have only practiced for 16 years. Vados smiled and said, Hit has been practicing for nearly 1,000 years. It's normal that you can't beat him. I am a fighting nation Saiyan, I can only live for 100 years, and I have to practice for 1 year to achieve the same effect as his practice for 10 years. Qi Tian said seriously. You can live for 100 years. Vados sighed, 100 years. But it's fleeting. For me, 100 years is enough. Qi Tian smiled. If you can become a real trainee angel, your lifespan will be extended indefinitely. Vados said to Qi Tian. Well, in fact, I don't have much feeling about longevity. Qi Tian's expression is calm, but his heart is stealing joy. You must make yourself more exciting when you live, rather than being ineffective and immortal. Vados, I feel you are alluding to me. While chatting, a bright flame flashed across the sky. At the next moment, Champa brought 3 contestants down from the sky and landed near Qi Tian. After Champa came back, he sniffed his nose vigorously. Well, there is no taste of milk tea. But, it seems that there is more coffee smell. Vados likes to drink coffee. It's terrible to death. Vados does not believe in evil. Just say it's a drinking habit. The result is getting ugly. As long as you don't make milk tea, it's easy to say. Boy, you are quite interesting, you didn't make milk tea while I was away. Champa happily patted on Qi Tian's shoulder. Qi Tian took advantage of the situation and avoided Champa's big hand. Boy, I haven't seen you for more than 2 hours, so I'm good at it. Champa said with a dark face. You actually avoided the person I wanted to shoot in Gods of Destruction. You are so outrageous. Never want to pat my shoulder, whoever pats my shoulder is anxious. Qi Tian said seriously. I really can't make a joke. Champa does not dare to provoke Qi Tian excessively now. It really made this kid anxious, and following Beerus back to the 7th universe, it was not what I wanted to see. Qi Tian looked at the 3 people Champa had brought back. These 3 people are Hit, Frost and Bertamo. Why isn't that kid Gabe? Calculating according to the timeline, that kid Gabe might not have been born yet. The 3 of them also silently looked at Qi Tian. Master Champa, this is. Frost asked respectfully. This is my special guest. The milk tea is very delicious. Champa explained briefly. Milk tea, what do you mean? Frost had never heard of milk tea. You can understand it as a better drink. Champa replied. It turns out to be a cook. Bertamo understood. So, Frost nodded slightly. I have long heard that Lord Champa likes to eat good food. It's no surprise that there is an extra cook by his side. Champa didn't explain too much. It seems that Qi Tian was originally a cook. The cook who makes milk tea. Qi Tian, these 3 are the elite fighters of my 6th universe, how are they? How do they feel? Champa said with a smug look at Qi Tian. Except for this purple brother with a more unique head, did the other 2 people come to make up the number? Qi Tian sighed. What are you talking about? Bertamo was angry at the time. This cook friend, you will offend people if you speak this way. Frost replied politely. The head is unique. Champa looked at Hit silently. Hit, who has a unique head? Why is my head unique? Hit also took a look at Qi Tian. Hit, your head looks like my brother. Qi Tian sighed. In the past in manga or anime, Qi Tian just thought Hit's head was like his brother. But now in reality, it seems that this is simply impossible to describe in words. It's so alike. It can be seen that the universe is so big that there are no surprises. What do you mean? Hit did not react in a daze. What makes my head look like your brother? Is this a sick sentence? You should say that my brother and I look alike. Ahem, Qi Tian, you want to say that Hit is very similar to your brother, right? Vados couldn't help but say something. No, his head is very similar to my brother. Qi Tian corrected. Vados was speechless for a while. If you have time to take you to see my brother, you will understand why I said that. Qi Tian grinned. Okay, Vados didn't think much about it. Isn't it normal for Saiyan to have a brother? In fact, how could Vados think that the brother Qi Tian said is not a real brother? It is impossible for Angel to spy on other people's minds all the time. It's really impossible to communicate like that. I know what you think, what can I say to you? In that case, Angel will be very boring. Hit, my brother. Qi Tian patted Hit's shoulder. Hit was dark and didn't say a word. Who do you call a brother? How old are you? Hit couldn't help asking. Ah, just 16 this year. Qi Tian replied. Hit really wanted to give this guy a flash. You are only 16 years old. Do you know how old I am? I have lived for more than 1,000 years. What about you? Qi Tian asked. I am over 1,000 years old this year. Hit replied with a dark face. Come on. Qi Tian nodded vigorously. Hit. What do you do? Come on, woolen yarn. Hit felt that the whole person was not good. Hey, chef, who did you just say will make up the count? Bo Damo looked at Qi Tian with a cold face, angrily. Bodamo looks like a big yellow bear on the outside, with a relatively fat body and smooth and elastic skin. He is wearing a red vest, a pair of sports straps on his hands, a pair of red boots on his feet, a brown nose and a short tail. Master Champa, can I teach him? Bodamo immediately sought Champa's opinion. This is a matter between you and it has nothing to do with me. Champa smiled lightly, but I have something to say first. Qi Tian is the VIP I invited over. Bodamo scratched his head. For a moment he didn't understand what Champa meant. Master Champa meant to say. Frost lowered his voice and whispered to Bodamo, you can fight, but you can't kill this guy named Qi Tian. So that's what I meant. Bodamo suddenly realized. Mr. Bodamo, Qi Tian is indeed very arrogant. You should take the lead first and teach him a good lesson. Frost said with a smile, I will go up and teach him later. Let him know that there is a sky outside the world, and there are people outside the world. Bodamo nodded slightly. By the way, Qi Tian, don't you want to be the best in the universe? Champa looked at Qi Tian again. They are all elite fighters in our 6th universe. Do you want to compete with them? You only have after defeating our elite fighters in the 6th universe, you can move towards the ranks of the strongest in the universe, am I right? The reason for saying that, Champa doesn't really want to offend Qi Tian. Now that I have offended people, when the time comes, Qi Tian will choose not to make milk tea. Even if I destroy him, it will be me. I want to drink milk tea. Maybe I will drink enough milk tea someday, and then I will clean him up. Okay, who will come first? Qi Tian had no objection, and pointed at Bodhidharma with his hand, it's you are the happiest jumper. The boy who doesn't know how high the sky is. Bodhidharma smiled softly. Vados, build a ring for them, so it can be regarded as a warm-up exercise before the 7th universe game. Champa proposed. Okay, Vados nodded slightly, and a light flashed from the angel's scepter in his hand. Suddenly, there was a square ring on the scene. Bodhidharma jumped onto the ring and beckoned to Qi Tian. With a smile on his face, Qi Tian stepped onto the ring. Boy, do you want to be the best in the universe? Bodhidharma laughed. You should make your milk tea well, at least there is no life-threatening milk tea, isn't it? Qi Tian smiled. The game begins, Champa said. Just in the blink of an eye, Qi Tian disappeared in place. Bodhidharma was stunned. People, why is it missing? Even Hit looked at the fast-moving Qi Tian with a look of surprise. What a fast speed. Frost's eyes widened even more. I go. This cook is not easy. It seems that my first form may not be able to deal with him. What about people? Bodhidharma is still looking for Qi Tian's figure. I'm behind. Qi Tian smiled and patted Bodhidharma on the back. What? Bodhidharma jumped up as if he had been electrocuted. This guy, when did he run behind me? Bodhidharma quickly distanced himself from Qi Tian, and stared at Qi Tian vigilantly. Why, just move the real speed a little, can you not see it? Qi Tian sighed, how can you return the 6th universe's face like this? Bodhidharma clenched his fist tightly. Hateful, I was actually despised by a cook. Then, I will continue to attack, you have to be careful. Qi Tian smiled. At the next moment, Qi Tian's figure disappeared in the same place again. A cold sweat broke out on Bodhidharma's face. How did this guy move? Why is it so fast? Is it behind? Bodhidharma quickly looked behind him. Behind him, there is nothing. Idiot, on top. Qi Tian's voice rang above Bodhidharma. What? Bodhidharma raised his head mechanically. Boom. Qi Tian descended from the sky and directly landed on Bodhidharma's head. Suddenly, Bodhidharma's body was squeezed and deformed. Boom. Qi Tian fell gently, kicking on Bodhidharma's body. Boom. Bodhidharma shot out like a cannonball and fell into the lake in the distance. Oh, One accidentally used too much force, is he okay? Qi Tian grinned. Frost, go and save him. Champa greeted Frost. Yes. Frost rushed forward and pulled Botomo out of the water. Botomo had passed out. The healing light on the scepter of Vados flickered and healed Botomo. Soon, Botomo recovered. After Botomo woke up, he looked at Qi Tian with a look of horror. This cook is not easy. Too frightening. I can't beat him. Botomo, you really shame me. Champa said angrily with a black face. In any case, Qi Tian is still regarded as a person in the 7th universe. We, the elite of the 6th universe, just let a cook from the 7th universe give a second. Can it not be ashamed? Frost, you go. Champa shouted at Frost. Frost, what's the situation? How do I feel that Master Champa wants me to win, but he doesn't want this cook to lose? What do you mean? Okay, Lord Champa. Frost nodded politely. The next moment, Frost stepped onto the ring. Frost first bowed to Qi Tian and saluted. Qi Tian didn't mean to salute him. Qi Tian, please take care of it. Frost said with a smile. Okay, the more polite fellow like you, the more he looks like a hypocrite. Qi Tian sighed. What are you talking about? Frost's face changed slightly. Will you really let me say it? Qi Tian looked at Frost thoughtfully. Ha ha ha, Qi Tian, this joke is not funny at all. Frost smiled awkwardly. I'm not joking, Qi Tian said lightly. I've heard that you are a righteous soldier in the 6th universe, but I feel that you don't seem to be doing anything less in ordinary times, matter. You are talking nonsense. You are not allowed to blame me. Frost shouted angrily. You are not afraid of shadows. If you haven't done those things, no matter what I say, you won't be angry. Qi Tian said. I'm not angry. Frost suppressed the anger in his heart and took a deep breath. You cook. You wait for me. See how I will clean you up later. The game begins. Champa ordered to the two. Boy, do you think it will be great if you defeat Bodhidharma? Frost snorted and was about to transform. Transform yourself, Frost. Qi Tian smiled at Frost. What are you talking about? Frost was dumbfounded. How do you know that I am going to transform? The thing that I will transform into, even Master Champa doesn't know. You know a lot, it seems you have been investigating me secretly. Frost said with a dark face. Who is this person? I feel he knows me very well. Transform. Frost will transform, Champa also muttered. Frost should belong to the same race as Frieza in the 7th universe. Vados analyzed. Qi Tian's planet was destroyed by Frieza. I believe I have a certain understanding of Frieza, and through my understanding of Frieza, it's normal to be able to tell some of Frost's secrets. So that's it. Champa understood. HMPH, kid, I will show you how terrible I am. Frost sneered. Snapped. In the next moment, Frost's body quickly took place, changing into the 3rd form. This guy will really transform. Champa smiled lightly. But let alone, his strength after transforming seems to have improved a lot. Vados did not speak. Qi Tian, we can start. Frost looked at Qi Tian confidently. Are you sure you don't change it again? Qi Tian smiled. What did you say? Frost's eyes widened. I just talk about it casually, you don't need to be afraid. Qi Tian smiled slightly. Frost, just talk about it and know that I can change it again. Frost felt his mentality collapsed. Before the war started, I felt as if the opponent had seen all his whole cards. Okay, then, I'm going to attack. Qi Tian grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Immediately afterwards, Qi Tian threw a punch at Frost Void. Boom! This punch compressed air and hit Frost's chest directly. With a muffled noise, Frost flew upside down and fell out of the ring. Shit! Frost's body glided hundreds of meters outside the field, leaving a long mark, and then stopped. Puff! After Frost stopped, a big mouthful of blood spurted out of his mouth. What? Isn't even Frost his opponent? Champa was stunned. Fortunately, this kid is not a player in the 7th universe. If so, this kid easily defeated the 2 elites on my side. Champa turned to look at Hit. Hit looked calmer, nodded slightly, and stepped onto the ring. Vados stepped forward to give Frost a simple treatment. Botomo lost. Frost was also killed in a flash. Both of them dropped their heads with a dejected expression on their faces. Hit won't lose to this kid. Champa muttered. It's hard to say now. Vados shook his head lightly. Hey, Vados, when I left, this kid was obviously not so strong. Champa said hastily. Yes, Vados nodded. About an hour after Master Champa left, Qi Tian's strength has indeed improved. What, improved? How much did it improve? Champa asked in surprise. About 100 times, Vados said. What are you talking about? 100 times. Champa was stunned, his eyes widened. Don't be kidding, what did he do? Why did he improve so high? Compress combat power. Vados sighed. Compressed combat power. What the hell? Champa couldn't understand. In the words of Qi Tian, the method of cultivation he used is to continuously compress the combat power. Ah, the combat power he said is energy. This energy can be used to compress, and through continuous compression to increase his own strength, it will double. Effect, Vados explained. What, there is this kind of cultivation method, why I have never heard of it. Champa was surprised, and asked quickly, there will be no side effects in this method of cultivation, right? Yes, when the combat power is compressed to the extreme, I am afraid that his body will not be able to bear it, and he will explode after falling. Vados sighed. Champa, there was a short silence. Have you told him about the consequences? Champa asked. Say it. Vados nodded. What did he say? Champa asked. He doesn't listen, he will continue to reduce his combat power and practice according to his own practice. Vados sighed softly. Champa, you are so individual. Ahem. To be honest, I'm not interested in his strength. But if he blows himself up for cultivation, how can we drink our milk tea? Champa is worried about the milk tea. Master Champa can rest assured. If there is such a day, I will resurrect him. Vados smiled and said, I believe he won't be messed up again after he is resurrected. That's what I said. Champa nodded, thinking Vados's approach was good. Now I advise you not to listen, and then you will practice bombing yourself, but you will suffer. Ha, I didn't expect this kid to be so strong. Champa smiled. However, even if he is strong, there is still a big gap compared to Hit, even if his strength is increased by 100 times. On the ring, Qi Tian and Hit stand opposite each other. Qi Tian's expression also became serious. The strength of this Hit is comparable to Super Saiyan Blue. I don't even count Super Saiyan now, it's a bit difficult to deal with him. The game begins, Champa said loudly. Hit, I am going to attack. Qi Tian said to Hit. Hit looked plain. Boom. Qi Tian didn't have much hesitation, and released a powerful punch to hit Hit. Seeing the fast approaching fists, Hit only slightly raised his left hand. Snapped. Hit's left hand blocked the fist that Qi Tian attacked so easily. Sure enough, Hitler. Qi Tian grinned, and quickly retreated, leaving Hitler at a distance. Hit did not step forward to track, but silently looked at Qi Tian, and quietly glanced at his palm. The punch of this guy just now was easily blocked by me, but it also shook me a little bit numb. This person named Qi Tian is not simple. No wonder Frost and Bodemo would lose to him so easily. It deserves to be the #1 killer of the 6th universe, the strength is really amazing. Qi Tian nodded, and said to Hit, just now it was my full blow. Hit, how big a gap do you think I still have with you? It's 100 times less, right? Hit replied faintly. 100 times. Qi Tian scratched his head, is it really only 100 times worse? Hit, Frost, Bodemo, Champa. The few people present were speechless. Only 100 times worse. Do you know how big this gap is? That's 100 times. Champa was even more speechless. By the way, Master Champa, by the way. Vados smiled and said, the improvement of Qi Tian's strength seems to be improved by 100 times every time. What are you talking about? Champa's ears stood up at the time. What are you kidding? Can this kid's strength increase 100 times every time? Your cultivation method has improved your strength too quickly. No wonder he told Hit that it was only 100 times worse. It's a difference of 100 times. With my current strength, no matter how hard I try, it's impossible to be your opponent. Qi Tian smiled, if it's only 50 times worse, maybe I can still fight it. What? Hit was stunned. And you are not my enemy, I don't have to fight hard with you. Qi Tian said with a smile. HMPH, your mouth is hard, you can fight it 50 times. Frost said angrily. Call out. Qi Tian pointed at Frost's body with his hand. A blue light directly penetrated Frost's chest. Puff! Frost spurted blood from his mouth and fell to the ground on the spot, pumping all over his body. I don't like someone chewing ear roots in front of me, Qi Tian said lightly. The kid is quite personal, but he is more suitable to be an excellent gods of destruction. Champa nodded in satisfaction. Vados. Champa, this kid doesn't mean to be gods of destruction at all. I feel that this kid is worried about the god position of angel. However, Qi Tian, you are so decisive, are you really suitable to be an angel? Hey, Vados, this guy is dying. Give him a treatment now, Champa said to Vados. Vados had no choice but to treat Frost. Frost was cured soon. This time Frost dared not say anything. Bodhidharma did not dare to speak. This kid is too cruel. Frost just said a word and almost beat him to death. You just said that you can fight it with only 50 times difference. What do you mean? Qi Tian asked while looking at it. Yes, if the gap between me and you is only 50 times, I may not lose to you. Qi Tian smiled slightly and nodded gently. Then, I will use half of my strength, how are we better? Hit suddenly became interested. Forget it, when you lose face, you can't justify it. Qi Tian sighed. You said I would lose. Hit smiled. If you only take out half of your strength, you might really lose. Qi Tian nodded. Of course, the premise is that the gap between me and you is really only 100 times. If I lose, I accept my fate. Hit said seriously. Then, I'm not welcome. Qi Tian said here, his expression also became solemn. Vados, what does this kid mean? Can he really increase his strength by 50 times? Champa also couldn't understand. It should be. Vados groaned. It doesn't look like he is playing mystery. He should have some other special skills. I'm really curious, what method can he use to increase his strength by 50 times? Champa smiled. Does he want to continue to compress his combat effectiveness? Vados didn't say anything, and silently looked at the handsome boy on the ring. In just 16 years, such a human being can actually challenge Hit, the #1 killer of the 6th universe. Then, I'm going to start. Qi Tian said here, a golden flame suddenly appeared on his body. At the same time, Qi Tian's hair stood tall. Qi Tian's body is full of golden light. Snapped. Even the tail of Qi Tian turned golden at this moment. Super Saiyan. Transform. After Qi Tian crossed over, in addition to the daily compressed combat power, the transformation of Super Saiyan was an indispensable road to cultivation. After all, a Super Saiyan transformation can increase its combat effectiveness by 50 times. And, how cool it is to become Super Saiyan. Qi Tian knows very well that in order to become Super Saiyan, he first needs to have a peaceful heart. Over the years, Qi Tian has been tempering his state of mind. When Qi Tian was 8 years old, he could successfully become Super Saiyan. It's just that Qi Tian has been compressing combat effectiveness over the years, but he hasn't taken a step further on Super Saiyan. Therefore, Qi Tian can only become the first stage of Super Saiyan. That kind of lightning Super Saiyan, that is, the second of Super Saiyan, Qi Tian will not change at present. For Qi Tian, the current Super Saiyan is enough. What? Transform. Champa's eyes widened. This kid will actually transform. This kid is really hidden. Hey, I didn't even know that he would transform. Vados smiled. This transformation has increased his strength by at least 50 times. No wonder he said that just now. What? A transformation can increase your strength by 50 times? Champa looked surprised. By the way, Vados, who is this kid? It seems to be Saiyan. Vados replied. Saiyan also exists in our 6th universe, right? Champa thoughtfully. We do have Saiyan in the 6th universe, and they are currently living on the planet Shadala. Vados replied. I don't know if Saiyan of our 6th universe will become like him. Champa groaned. Not sure. Vados shook his head. I didn't expect you to transform, no wonder you are so confident. Hit was also a little surprised, looking at Qi Tian and said, well, according to the agreement, I will use half of my strength. You can be careful. Qi Tian nodded. At the next moment, Qi Tian quickly attacked in the direction where Hit was. Boom. Hit easily blocked Qi Tian's attack, and greeted Qi Tian's body with a heavy punch. Looking at Hit's fist coming over, Qi Tian flicked and avoided. Boom. Immediately afterwards, Qi Tian kicked out and hit Hit's chest on the spot. Hit slipped backwards, rubbing his feet against the ground of the ring, leaving a long mark on the ring. Huh, that trick just now looked a little strange. Champa was startled slightly. Not bad. Hit also nodded slightly towards Qi Tian. Huh. At the next moment, Qi Tian's figure flickered and disappeared in the same place. In an instant, Qi Tian appeared behind Hit. Qi Tian bombarded Hit's back with a punch. Huh. It's just that after Qi Tian's fist attack passed, he realized that he had fallen through. Suddenly, Qi Tian suddenly felt that a dangerous signal came from behind him. It is Hit. This guy didn't know when he had already ran behind Qi Tian. Hit the location of Qi Tian's back and attacked with a violent punch. When I watched Hit about to hit Qi Tian's back seemed to have eyes, and his side avoided Hit's attack. Boom. Qi Tian flew up and kicked towards Hit's body. Only when Qi Tian is about to kick Hit, Qi Tian suddenly found that his feet had fallen through again. Flash time. Hit this guy, at this critical moment, is already showing the flash time. No wonder I can't hit him. Ha. At this moment, Qi Tian felt once again a slight movement behind him. Qi Tian squatted down quickly, an uppercut against Hit. Ha. Hit dodges again. Swish. The two played against each other in the arena for hundreds of rounds, and no one hit anyone. Vados, how do I feel that Qi Tian's tactics are a bit like being at ease? Champa's eyes widened. Yes, it's not entirely due to self-consciousness, mostly he dodges the attack with his own speed. Vados nodded slightly, only a few times there are shadows of self-consciousness. How did he do it? Champa couldn't help asking. Hey, after Master Champa left, I simply taught him how to feel free. Vados replied. What are you talking about? It's only about an hour or two. Can he get started in the practice of freedom? Champa was stunned. I can't talk about getting started, it's just a bit similar. Vados smiled and glanced at Champa. Master Champa, how do I feel that you have a sense of crisis? Sense of crisis? Are you kidding? How can my dignified gods of destruction have a sense of crisis? Champa hummed. On the ring, the battle lasted for about a minute, and Qi Tian and Hit quickly moved apart and stared at each other. Qi Tian, what you said is right, it seems that I only use half of my strength, I am afraid it is still somewhat difficult to defeat you. Hit's Eurasian became more surprised. Although I only used half of my strength, I used flash time. He was able to dodge my slip attack. This person named Qi Tian is really amazing. Yes, it deserves to be the #1 killer of the 6th universe. Qi Tian nodded in satisfaction. Through this contest between Qi Tian and Hit, he has been able to clearly feel his own strength, which is definitely not comparable to ordinary combat effectiveness. Calculated based on the battle power of the Dragon Ball world. My current combat power is about 1 trillion. Become Super Saiyan, nothing more than 50 trillion. And Hit's combat effectiveness, according to the Dragon Ball world's algorithm, is at least 1,000 times or even 10,000 times higher than mine. In other words, after my combat effectiveness has been compressed, the degree of energy refinement is by no means comparable to ordinary energy. Thanks to the award, it is also very remarkable that you can reach the present level. Hit nodded lightly at Qi Tian. In fact, I still have a layer of transformation that I have never used. Qi Tian sighed slightly. What did you say? Hit's face changed color. But it's a pity that my transformation has a shortcoming. If I can overcome this shortcoming, it would be much more convenient. Qi Tian smiled. What, does this kid have another transformation? Champa also pricked his ears, showing a look of disbelief. Frost was completely dumbfounded. Bottomo even had a cold sweat on his face. It turns out that this guy is so powerful. I'm thankful that I didn't provoke him too much. Otherwise I will be beaten to death by him. Interesting, you said you still have another transformation that you haven't used. Hit smiled and looked at Qi Tian. Then I want to ask you, your unused transformation will give you strength. How many times does it increase? Only 10 times. Qi Tian sighed. Hit breathed a sigh of relief. I thought you said it would be improved by 100 times. If I want to beat you like that, I have to think a little bit. Frost wiped his sweat. Just 10 times. That's it. Do you know how difficult it is to increase your strength by 10 times? Can you let me see? Hit was curious, looked at Qi Tian and asked. Okay, Qi Tian said, a gleaming energy bomb suddenly condensed in his hand. A holy light bloomed on the energy bomb. Hit was stunned. What is this? This energy bomb seems to have no power. What does he want to do? Champa was also a little confused. Call out. Qi Tian threw the energy bullet in his hand into the air, and clenched his fist. Snapped. Suddenly, the energy bomb in the sky burst out with golden light. Before long, there was already an artificial full moon above the sky. It's the moon, Frost said. That's right, Qi Tian nodded, this is the artificial full moon I made. Everyone present, including Vados, looked at each other. What are you doing to make an artificial full moon? Qi Tian looked up at the artificial full moon in the sky. The next moment, a scene that surprised everyone happened. I saw Qi Tian's body quickly grew bigger, and black hair grew on his body. Roar! Qi Tian transformed into a black gorilla, appearing on the opposite side of Hit like a big mountain. Vado's eyes widened. This kid can become like this. I really underestimate this kid, he can actually become a great ape. Champa was also surprised. Monster. This guy is a monster. Boda rubbed sweat. Frost wanted to cry. I was provoking this monster just now. I was lucky that I was not beaten to death by him. Hey, Vados, can our universe's Saiyan also be like this? Champa asked quickly. It doesn't seem to work. This transformation of Qi Tian seems to change through the tail. Vados silently looked at Qi Tian and quickly gave the answer. Tail, I just found out that this kid has a tail. Champa suddenly realized, this kid wrapped the tail around his waist before. I thought it was an ornament. Vados, Master Champa, don't talk anymore. I feel ashamed of you to say that. Are you a word from gods of destruction? Hit also looked at this behemoth in surprise. But after sensing Qi Tian's energy intensity, Qi Tai's hanging heart was also let go. Anyway, this guy Qi Tian is pretty real. He said that this transformation can increase his strength by 10 times. Sure enough, it was 10 times. Qi Tian is sincere not to deceive me. The body has become so huge, and the strength has only increased by 10 times. It is indeed a pity. Hit said in thought. Snapped. Hit's voice just fell, but Qi Tian's body suddenly burst out with golden flames. When I looked again, I saw that the black hair on Qi Tian's body had all turned into golden color. After feeling the powerful energy of Qi Tian, Hit's face changed again and again. Hit felt 10,000 critical damage at that time. You are so special, your transformation is still accumulating. You are more than 10 times over. You clearly have a 500-fold increase. How do you fight this special? Hit's face was sweating cold. It's a pity that my transformation has a big shortcoming. You have also seen the artificial full moon in the sky. Qi Tian told the truth, if you can break the artificial full moon, my transformation it will fail. You actually told me the shortcomings of your transformation. Hit's eyes widened. It's nothing, I didn't want to fight with you either. Qi Tian smiled, grabbed the void with his big hand. Suddenly, the artificial full moon in the sky was caught by Qi Tian. Boom! The artificial full moon in Qi Tian's hands shattered on the spot. At the next moment, I saw Qi Tian's body quickly shrunk and returned to its original appearance. Hoo. Qi Tian gasped heavily and seemed to be a little tired. The other thing is, the time that I can hold on to this transformation is relatively short, and I can hold on for about a minute at most. Qi Tian smiled. If the time is too long, it may be because my own energy is too strong. The body will be overwhelmed. Hit didn't say a word. Hit, I have learned your strength, thank you very much. Qi Tian said to Hit. Hit didn't know what to say for a while. After a brief silence, Hit also smiled friendly at Qi Tian. Before he knew it, Hit admired the opponent in front of him very much. It's simply amazing. You told me all the shortcomings of transformation. What a venerable opponent this is. Qi Tian is smiling and calm. What? Tell you the shortcomings of my transformation. For Qi Tian, this is nothing at all. Qi Tian did not intend to become a gorilla through the artificial full moon. This kind of transformation is obviously not desirable. I will definitely overcome this shortcoming in the future. I should learn from Brawly and directly improve my strength to the strength of a gorilla. Therefore, even if you tell them your shortcomings, there is no big deal. So, if you really fight, Hit might lose to him. Champa felt that a head was too big. This is the number one killer of our sixth universe. Not necessarily. Vados whispered, this is a game. Hit has a lot of tricks that he can't use. This is. Champa breathed a sigh of relief. It would be too tragic if the kid who made milk tea really punched the sixth universe. However, Champa felt a little uneasy in his heart. This kid seems to be only 16 years old, right? If you continue to let this kid practice, I feel that he can really become the best player in the universe. Sister Vados is right. If I really compete with Hit, it's not in this form of competition, maybe I will be killed by him. Chi Tien told the truth. Hit is a killer after all. The killer is best at killing people rather than playing games. If it really fights, I'm afraid Chi Tien will be killed by Hit before he can transform. Of course, Chi Tien will also work hard to cultivate and strive to realize the true self-consciousness as soon as possible. As long as Chi Tien understands the true self-consciousness, no matter how Hit was started, he was not afraid of his existence. After all, after comprehending the true self-intention, Chi Tien can dodge Hit's attack even if he closes his eyes. It's nice to meet you, Chi Tien. Hit extended his hand friendly to Chi Tien. Chi Tien stepped forward and held Hit's hand together. Immediately afterwards, Chi Tien looked closely at Hit's head again. Hit, why are you looking at my head again? My face really looks like your brother. Hit couldn't help asking. It's not your face, it's your head. Chi Tien corrected seriously. I still don't understand what you are saying. Hit was speechless. It is really rare to be able to appreciate the strength of the number one killer in the sixth universe. Chi Tien changed the subject. With each other, your strength gave me the motivation to cultivate. Hit smiled at Chi Tien. After this game with the seventh universe is over, I will also practice well when I go back. Let's work hard together. Chi Tien nodded. In the future, if I become an angel, you will be my gods of destruction. Hit's face was confused. What are you talking about? What is your gods of destruction? Champa. Vados. This kid. I'm really speechless with you. Have you found gods of destruction for yourself? Champa scratched his head. How do I feel that your kid is very ambitious? Do you seem to look down upon the internship gods of destruction? You are here to train and train. 3 days later, you will have a showdown with the seventh universe. I hope you don't shame me. Champa commanded the three of Hit and the others. Especially you. Chi Tien pointed to Frost. Frost. How did I provoke you again? I just slapped you just now, don't keep holding on to me. You just beat me to death. Speaking of you, did you hear it? Chi Tien shouted to Frost. Chi Tien, I don't understand what you are talking about. Frost felt that he was always sad. Play well, don't engage in those conspiracies. Chi Tien scolded Frost. I didn't engage in conspiracy. Frost was about to cry. I hate hypocrites the most in my life. Look at Frieza in the seventh universe. He is of the same race as you, so he is a real villain. Chi Tien said to Frost, you said you are people who wear fashion clothes or like a gentleman, but actually only do some mischievous activities. How inappropriate is this? Frost lowered his head. Whatever you say, I will not say anything. You have the ability to hit me. Are you in the seventh universe? Frost also reacted immediately. Chi Tien laughed and said nothing. I finally understand why you are targeting me like this. Frost said, I'm different from Frieza in the seventh universe you said. I'm really a good person. Chi Tien didn't talk to Frost again. Whether it is a good person has nothing to do with Chi Tien. Forget Chi Tien, as long as he can win the game, I don't care what villain or gentleman he is. Champa persuaded. That's right. Chi Tien nodded. Vados, is the venue ready? Champa asked. Let's compete with us. Going to other planets is too much trouble. Vados proposed. Okay, you can figure it out. Champa didn't object, patted his stomach, and looked at Chi Tien. Chi Tien pretended not to see it, and looked up at the sky. Champa, ahem, Chi Tien, can you make a cup of milk tea for me now? Champa gritted his teeth and asked. Yes. Chi Tien didn't object, and used the energy-controlled material to levitate into the air, and quickly filled 3 cups of milk tea. A cup of Champa, a cup of Vados. The last cup fell in Chi Tien's hands. Hit. Chi Tien threw the milk tea to Hit. Hit took the milk tea down and was taken aback. Thank you. Hit thanked. You're welcome. Chi Tian smiled, you will be my brother from now on. Hit. I'm obviously older than you, okay. I am more than 1,000 years older than you. Is it appropriate for you to call my brother like that? Hit. You are a good one. Champa smiled. Do you know why I brought him from the 7th universe to our universe? Hit shook his head. Is it because he is strong? This is because the milk tea he made is the only one in the universe. Champa laughed and quietly sipped the milk tea. Well, that's it. It's so delicious. Oh, it's so fragrant. Vados also clicked and said with a look of intoxication, it's different from coffee, and each has its own merits. Coffee. Champa couldn't help it. Vados, the coffee you said is too ugly. How can coffee compare with milk tea? Master Champa, you don't understand. Vados smiled mysteriously and blinked at Chi Tian. Chi Tian understood the meaning of Vados. She wants to eat alone. In other words, coffee will be exclusively for Vados in the future. Of course this is fine. Chi Tian didn't want to make something for the fellow Champa. Isn't it fragrant to cook beautiful food for Angel? Anyway, no matter how much you eat, I will eat it from you in the end. Vados was taken aback for a moment, and looked at Chi Tian thoughtfully. How do I feel this kid is thinking about me? Do I really look similar to his first love? Isn't this kid running the train with his mouth full? The milk tea is so delicious. Leave him alone. Investigate him slowly later. Drink milk tea first. Hit was also shocked at the time after tasting a sip of milk tea. Me, what is this? This is delicious too. In this endless universe, there are actually such delicious drinks. I feel that my 1,000 years have been in vain. Hit burst into tears. Hit, why are you crying? Champa was stunned. No, Master Champa, I just got sand in my eyes. Hit rubbed his eyes and wiped away tears. Champa, God's eyes got into the sand. This is my planet. Is there sand on this planet? I don't know. Is it so delicious? Frost wiped his sweat. It should be delicious. I cried without seeing Hit. Bodomo whispered, he's a killer. What kind of drink did the killer drink? And he cried. Frost was shocked. It's a pity that the two of us are not qualified to taste it. Bodomo sighed. It's not to blame you. Who let you provoke that guy? Frost said angrily. Is this to blame? How do I remember that you urged me? Bodomo said with a dark face. Chi Tian said it is indeed correct, you hypocrite. What are you talking about? You actually call me a hypocrite. You want to die, don't you? Frost was furious. It's just that Chi Tian, that fellow, said he is a hypocrite, and now this bear dares to be presumptuous in front of me. See how I break your leg. You two, get out of the fight again. Chi Tian smiled and looked at the two people. The two shivered uncontrollably and hurriedly shook hands to make peace. Ha ha ha, don't quarrel, don't quarrel. We are just arguing because of different opinions. We are still in a good relationship. Frost laughed. Yes, yes, we have a good relationship. How can we quarrel? Bodomo also responded quickly. Champa, why do I feel something is wrong with the weather vane? Chi Tian said this kid, the two of them were so scared. I haven't spoken to gods of destruction. ... After drinking the milk tea, Champa briefly trained Bodomo and Frost. However, Champa found that the aptitudes of these two people are very average, and it is obviously unlikely that they want to improve their strength in just 3 days. Champa suddenly lost interest, and simply let them practice on their own. In this way, the 3-day agreement soon arrived. On this day, Whis and Beerus descended on the planet Champa with the 3 human players from the 7th universe. Chi Tian looked at these 3 players immediately. Majin Buu, Frieza, Cooler. Well, Chi Tian knows everyone. In order to win this game, Beerus actually released Majin Buu. It's just that, can Majin Buu be Hit's opponent? I'm afraid it's choking, but it's hard to say. If Majin Buu really can't beat Hit, he might be absorbed by Hit. You can count it. Champa smiled and looked at Beerus. Ha, these are your 3 players. Beerus also immediately swept toward Hit and the 3 others. Champa really used Hit. That's the ring, ready to start. Champa greeted Beerus. It looks like you are confident, Champa. Beerus smiled. Of course, our universe will definitely win. Champa said confidently. What about the rules of the game? Beerus asked. The rules are very simple. The game is played one-on-one, and the loser quits until the last person loses the game. Champa explained, it is not allowed to kill during the game. Surrender or fall out of the ring is a loss. Yes. Beerus nodded and yawned. Let's start, I'm a little bit dozed, let them finish the game quickly so I can go back and get a good night's sleep. Don't worry, you have to be clear. Champa smiled. Otherwise, some people will have to go back to the bill again later. Who do you mean to Reckless? Beerus stared. Who else can I talk about? Champa snorted. You can talk about it, what about the Lost Universe? What else can we do? If our universe loses, that guy named Chi Tien will be yours. Beerus replied, if we win, Chi Tien will follow us back to the 7th universe. We were originally for this. Conditions for the game. Wait a minute. Chi Tien spoke. What do you want to say? Beerus asked. If the 7th universe wins, what shall I do when I go back? Do you continue to stay on the planet of Van Fu to make milk tea? Chi Tien asked. Chapter 31. If you want, you can come to my planet and become my milk tea supply specialist. Beerus said, of course, in my spare time, I will also teach you a few tricks. The alternate gods of destruction is also okay if you are interested. I will give you my gods of destruction position in the next year. Chi Tien dragged his chin in silent contemplation. The idea of Beerus has changed a little bit, but Chi Tien thinks about it carefully, and it's normal. After all, Beerus hasn't drank milk tea for 3 days. I'm afraid he almost forgot the delicious milk tea, right? Can I have my own choice? Chi Tien asked suddenly. What do you mean? Beerus was taken aback. Champa also turned his head to look at Chi Tien, wondering what he wanted to do. People also have dignity, I don't want to be exchanged as goods by you. Chi Tien said with a serious expression, my life needs me to lead. Boy, tell me, what do you want to do? Beerus smiled. It's very simple. If I am not satisfied with the final result, I will personally set foot on the ring to challenge. Chi Tien said, if I win, I can reject the final result. Of course, if I lose, I will only if you can appoint, I will cooperate and fulfill your needs well. Yes, Beerus glanced at Chi Tien, but he didn't object. That's the strength of this kid. What if you challenge yourself in the ring? Can you change the final result? These are the elite fighters of our universe. Ah ha ha ha. Frieza let out a weird cry. As expected, Saiyan, a little guy with a combat power of only 100 has such courage. Frieza smiled and looked at Chi Tien, and then looked at the value on the detector. Yes, this kid's combat power is only 100. If it weren't for the good taste of this milk tea, we wouldn't have to run over to fight the 6th universe. Also, if it weren't for this product, Lord Beerus wouldn't wake up so early, right? Frieza feels mad at thinking about it now. The culprit of all this is Saiyan's wild monkey. It's not this kid, I still dominate the universe. Now I can only do business in universe. Frieza, don't underestimate him. Beerus glanced at Frieza. If our universe wins, he is going to be the alternate gods of destruction. Now that you offend him, you will have to suffer. Quote. Master Beerus, if he can't beat me, do I have to suffer as well? Frieza asked quickly. Of course no need. Beerus smiled. Alternative gods of destruction speaks by strength, and I won't support him. Ah ha 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 ha. Frieza laughed. I'll be relieved then, I'm looking forward to competing with him. Frieza, don't be careless, it feels like that kid is not easy. Cooler leaned over and whispered to Frieza. Cut, Cooler, are you overly cautious? Frieza snorted. I hope I think too much. Cooler said in a low voice. Majin Buu looked at this and that, and patted his stomach. I'm hungry, I want to eat something. I have no problem. Champa nodded. Looking at the meaning of this kid now, it seems that he intends to stay in the 6th universe. Vados really has a foresight. Bringing this kid back in advance is definitely a clear choice. Since there is no objection, let's start the game. Beerus urged, which of the 3 of you will go first? Of course it's me. I can solve all 3 of them by myself, Frieza. Frieza smiled lightly and stepped forward. Frieza, be careful, there is a guy over there who seems to be of the same race as us. Cooler whispered to Frieza. HMPH, I've noticed him a long time ago. Frieza smiled disdainfully. Can that kind of weak guy be the opponent of my genius Frieza? The 3 of you, who is first? Champa looked at Hit and the 3 of them. Let me take the lead. Bottomo stepped forward. The 2 stepped onto the ring one after another. 3 seconds, it only takes 3 seconds for me to get rid of you. Frieza looked at Botomo with a smile. HMPH, brazen guy. Botomo snorted, clenching his fist tightly. The game begins, Vados said. Shoo, shoo, Champa and Beerus had a burst of energy at the same time. Dang Kang, dang Kang, the energy of the two was hit on their own gongs. There were also 2 crisp noises on the gong. The first game officially started. That big bear, you have to be careful, I can easily kill you in a flash. Frieza said, a flame shot directly from his hand. The flames whizzed towards Bertemo's body. Snapped. The red flame hit Bertemo's body at that time. Frieza naively thought that the flames he shot would surely penetrate this guy's body. Only the next moment, a scene that surprised Frieza happened. I saw that the red flame shot by me bounced off the opponent's body, and it actually came back. What? Frieza's eyes widened. Boom. Frieza slapped the bounced red flame with a slap, and slapped the red flame into the air. Boom. Botomo also took the opportunity to come quickly, and launched a fierce attack on Frieza. A rainy fist hit Frieza's body. Boom. Botomo flew and kicked Frieza's chest. Frieza was kicked to the ground, spouting a mouthful of sour water. Hey, 3 seconds have passed. Botomo smiled softly. Bear, your level is pretty good. Frieza got up and rubbed his nose. It seems that I'm not really moving. You don't know how powerful I am, King Frieza. Boom. Frieza's body exploded with energy, transformed into a second form. Call out. Frieza rushed in the direction where Botomo was. Puff. Frieza used the sharp horns of his head to directly penetrate Bertemo's body. Ah! Botomo let out a stern scream, feeling that his whole person is not good. Frieza's large body held Botomo so high. I'm really sorry, Bear, I accidentally used too much force. Frieza smiled. Don't die. If you die, I will be punished. Call out, Frieza said, tilting his head and slamming Botomo directly. Botomo's body bounced back in the ring and fell off the court and was eliminated. Hey, he has been eliminated by me now. If he dies again, I won't blame me. Frieza smiled. This guy. Champa bared his teeth. Vados didn't say much, and stepped forward to treat Botomo. Master Champa, let me meet our people. Frost saluted Champa. Go. Champa nodded. Frost stepped forward and stepped onto the ring, facing Frieza. Dang Kang. The gong was struck by Champa and Beerus. Ah, I heard that the 6th universe is the mirrored universe of our 7th universe, so you belong to our family of frozen demons, right? Frieza looked at Frost with a smile. I am a frozen clan, and I don't have the word devil. Frost replied politely. Oh, really? Frieza chuckled. It looks like you are a hypocrite. What did you say? Frost glared. This is so special. Am I really like a hypocrite? What a shame. Since you and I are of the same race, I won't hide and tuck you with you. Frieza smiled. Let's make all the strongest transformations. And after saying this, the energy in Frieza's body emerged madly. In the blink of an eye, Frieza turned into the 4th form. By the way, what's your name? Frieza smiled slightly. Frost. Very well, Frost, how do you feel about my transformation now? Frieza said with a smile. HMPH, this is what a transformation, it's just our basic form. Frost snorted coldly, and the energy burst on his body, which also became the 4th form. Whether Frieza or Frost, the 4th form of the two is actually their true appearance. As for the 1st form to the 3rd form of the two, they were only changed in order not to consume too much of their own energy. You were right, it seems you know yourself well. Frieza smiled slightly. Come on, Frost shouted at Frieza. Ha, Frieza was not very polite, and suddenly appeared directly opposite Frost in a flash. Boom, Frieza flew a kick and hit Frost's chest directly. Frost's eyes widened. This guy is so fast, I didn't even react. Frost was hit, and his body moved backwards quickly. When he retreated to the edge of the ring, Frost finally stabilized his body, gritted his teeth and stopped. Hoo. Frost was very tired, and his breathing was clearly visible. How is it? Everyone is of the same race, but I am more talented than you. Frieza chuckled. I thought you were so great, ha, so you were at that level. Asshole, I can't spare you. Frost was furious, his breath exploded again. Quickly rushed towards the direction where Frieza is. Frieza calmly responded. Boom. After 10 seconds, Frieza hit Frost in the nose with a punch. Frost's nosebleed came out of his nostrils. Oh, one accidentally used too much force, are you okay? Frieza teased. Wow, I did it with you. Frost threw his teeth at Frieza. Boom, Frieza kicked Frost's chest again. Frost drew an arc on the ring, fell out of the ring on the spot, fell off the court, and was eliminated. Ah ha ha ha, Frieza let out a weird cry. Champa's face went dark. This is so special, Frost could not beat this fellow of the same race. What a shame to me. Who is the next one? Frieza looked at Hit with a smile. Hit calmly stepped onto the ring. HMPH, it seems you are nothing great. Frieza chuckled lightly. Frieza, don't be careless. Beerus said to Frieza, this Hit is the #1 killer in the 6th universe. Ah, understood. Frieza was taken aback. Even Lord Beerus said that, it shows that this person is indeed extraordinary, and I have to be careful. Kong dang. Beerus and Champa sounded the gong at the same time. Game start. As the #1 killer in the 6th universe, Frieza snorted, I am still the emperor of the 7th universe. Hit did not answer, but walked in Frieza's direction step by step. What, are you taking the initiative to provoke the king? Frieza said that, but he was immediately ready to fight. Boom. At the next moment, Hit made a shot. There was only a muffled noise at the scene, and when everyone reacted, Hit's fist had already hit Frieza's chest. Puff. Frieza's mouth spurted blood and fell to the ground. Flash time. Hit directly used the flash time. What? The speed of this guy. Frieza's eyes widened, showing a look of disbelief. I can't see how he did it. This guy. Boom. Hit didn't bother with Frieza at all, and kicked Frieza again. Frieza was kicked into the sky. Boom. Hit Frieza in the air as a violent output. Frieza was beaten so much that she cried and cried, feeling that her whole person was not good. Boom. Hit kicked out again, kicking Frieza out of the ring. Frieza fell to the ground, pumping all over. Whis. Beerus looked at Whis. Okay, Lord Beerus. Whis knew what Beerus meant, and immediately approached Frieza for treatment. In any case, Frieza can be considered a little bit of credit for the 7th universe. He at least eliminated 2 players from the 6th universe. Ha, the #1 killer in the 6th universe is amazing. Beerus smiled slightly and glanced at Cooler. Cooler nodded solemnly. You must go all out as soon as you go up, don't hide it, or you won't even know how to lose. Beerus told Cooler. Yes, Lord Beerus, Cooler replied. On the ring. Cooler and Hit stand opposite each other. Beerus and Champa sounded the gong. Wow, Cooler let out a scream, and his body changed quickly. 5th form. This is a change unique to Cooler. Only Cooler will transform into the 5th form. Seeing Cooler's transformation, Hit's expression was still not sad or happy, and plain. Cooler soared directly into the sky after transforming, and flew high into the sky. Immediately afterwards, Cooler condensed an extremely powerful energy in the air. I know your melee skills are very good, I won't go hand to hand with you. Cooler snorted, let me get rid of you in the air. Cooler said, the huge energy bomb in his hand slammed down in Hit's direction. Seeing the falling energy bomb, Hit's face was still extremely calm. Boom, the next moment, Hit hit the energy bomb released by Cooler with a heavy punch. With a soft sound, the energy bomb directly changed its direction and rushed to the far ground. Boom, there was a big explosion in the distance, raising a cloud of dust. What? Cooler's face changed color. That is equivalent to my full blow. Was it just being beaten by this guy? Cooler's face became increasingly ugly. At this moment, Hit's figure shook, and he appeared behind Cooler. Boom, Hit kicked Cooler. Cooler beckoned on the spot and fell from the air. Boom, Cooler's body hit the ring heavily, leaving a big hole in the ring. Oh, I lost again. Whis sighed, I'm afraid Cooler is no longer able to fight. Hey, Beerus, hurry up and let your last player play. Champa smiled triumphantly. Champa, don't be happy too soon. Beerus snorted. Cooler crawled out of the big pit in the ring, and his injury was serious. Beerus didn't want to make this product embarrassing in the ring, so he asked Cooler to surrender. After Cooler got off the ring, Vados stepped forward to repair the ring with Angel's power. Soon, the ring was restored to its original appearance. It's up to you, give me a good fight. Beerus said to Buu, if you perform well, I might consider removing you from the seal completely. Boo nodded vigorously. Immediately afterwards, Boo jumped into the ring. Hit frowned. As a killer, Hit keenly discovered that this fat man didn't seem to have any weaknesses. It should be the type that is difficult to kill. Since it is difficult to kill, if you want to cause serious injury to him, I am afraid it will be a little troublesome. Let's try the temptation first. Game start. Hit took the initiative, and his palm directly penetrated Majin Boo's body. Boo froze for a moment. This guy is so fast. But immediately, Boo felt a sharp pain. The body is penetrated. If it was just an attack by ordinary people, Boo would not feel pain. But this purple-skinned guy seems to hurt my soul. Boom. Boo hit Hit's body with his head at the time. With a muffled noise, Boo's head hit Hit's hand heavily. Hit gently blocked Boo's attack with his hand. Immediately afterwards, Hit quickly retreated and distanced himself from Boola. Shoo. Boo quickly counterattacked, firing energy bombs at Hit. Hit slapped them one by one and slapped these energy bombs away. The tentacles on Boo's head moved slightly, and a purple-red lightning-like energy struck again. Hit frowned and patted with his hands again. However, when Hit felt the extraordinary part of this energy, his face had already changed color. It was too late for Hit to avoid. Snapped. Hit's hand was hit by this strange energy. Suddenly, Hit's body quickly changed. Snapped. The next moment, in full view, Hit's body turned into a chocolate biscuit, just lying on the ring. Champa. Vados. Vados was speechless for a while and couldn't help covering his forehead. This fat pink man has a good magic attack. Hit him so much. Fat Boo grinned and stepped forward to pick up the chocolate biscuit and start eating. It's just that Boo seemed to be aware of something. He glanced at Beerus with some caution, and quickly dropped the biscuit in his hands from the ring. Boom. The moment the chocolate biscuit fell out of the ring, the tentacles on Majin Boo's head shot a pink flame again and hit the biscuit. Snapped. Suddenly, Hit's body recovered from the biscuit shape to its original shape. Hit was eliminated. So far, the game with the 7th universe is over. The 7th universe won the final victory. The last game was nothing exciting. The dignified Hit was turned into a chocolate chip cookie and eliminated. Hit also was speechless for a while. Hitwan never expected this result. If I knew the peculiarity of that energy, I should have avoided it just now. Champa, what do you say? Beerus smiled. HMPH, this guy didn't win the game by his true ability at all. Champa snorted, if the real contest is up, he may not be Hit's opponent. If you lose, you lose. There is nothing to explain. Beerus said with a smile, and then looked in the direction of Chi Tien. Chi Tien, can you go back to the 7th universe with me now? However, after Beerus finished speaking, he discovered that Chi Tien seemed to be missing. No, the person is not there. People, where are Chi Tien people? Beerus was taken aback for a moment. Others also reacted immediately. Chi Tien is indeed gone. Chi Tien was not there. People, when did you leave? Did you see him during Hit and Cooler's game? Beerus asked. Several players present shook their heads blankly. Did not pay attention. We have not always paid attention to Chi Tien's movements. What did this kid do? Beerus said with a black face, and turned to look at Whis. The crystal ball on the scepter in Whis' hand flickered a few times. Found it, about 3,000 meters over there. Whis pointed to the distance. What did he do? Beerus asked. Sleeping. Whis wiped his sweat. Beerus, Champa, Vados. Everyone present was more speechless than one. You guys have a big heart. Actually sleeping here. Do you know who we are playing for? Go and wake him up. Beerus told Frieza. Master Beerus, can I go over and beat him up? Frieza was holding his fire. As the king of the universe, I actually lost the game. How shame am I? I have to find someone to vent my anger. This wild monkey making milk tea is you. I want to repair you well. It's time to fix this kid, otherwise I feel he doesn't respect me a bit. Beerus snorted. Yes, Lord Beerus. Frieza grinned, without hesitation, and flew quickly in the direction where Chi Tien was. The distance of 3,000 meters was just a flash for Frieza. Sure enough, Frieza saw that on a piece of emerald green grass, Chi Tien just lay there on all fours and fell asleep. Frieza, this kid is too hateful. We are playing there. It's good for you. You actually ran here to sleep. The environment here is really good. Look at how I fix you. Frieza let out a cold snort, stepped forward, and pointed his finger at Chi Tian's body. Chi Tian seemed to have entered a deep sleep. Chi Tian is really a little sleepy. I feel a little uncomfortable after coming to the 6th universe. Wild monkey, let you taste my power first. Frieza hesitated, put away his fingers for a while, kicked towards Chi Tian's body abruptly. If you attack this kid with energy and hurt this kid too badly to make milk tea, maybe I will be implicated. Let's kick him to vent his anger. This kick of Frieza kicked over, when he was about to hit Chi Tian's chest. Chi Tian's body twisted slightly, so he avoided Frieza's attack. Frieza's eyes widened, and he looked at Chi Tian in an incredible way. Wild monkey, are you pretending to sleep? Frieza was taken aback and snorted. Snapped. Chi Tian also sensed that his side was a little dangerous, suddenly opened his eyes and looked at Frieza. Oh, you were pretending to be sleeping. Frieza hummed. Frieza, what are you doing here? Do you know the consequences of disturbing my sleep? Chi Tian squinted. Oh, what will happen? Tell me to listen. Frieza rubbed his nose. Snapped. Chi Tian was not very polite, and stepped forward and grabbed Frieza's head. Boom. Chi Tian just pressed Frieza's head and slammed it heavily on the ground of Champa planet. Woo! Frieza let out a stern cruel cry, feeling that the whole person is not good. However, Frieza feels that the sadness is still to come. Chi Tian just pressed Frieza's head and glide on the ground of Champa planet. Soon, Chi Tian pushed Frieza's head into the area where Beerus and others were. Boom! Chi Tian kicked Frieza's chest fiercely, embedding Frieza's body deeply into the earth. As the game over, Chi Tian asked. Everyone was stunned. Frieza, it feels so tragic. Beerus also took a deep look at Chi Tian. Beerus didn't expect this guy named Chi Tian to be quite powerful. Frieza is not his opponent at all. Champa said nothing. There will be no milk tea to drink in the future. By the way, didn't this kid Chi Tian say it? If he is not satisfied with the final result, he will personally go to the ring to challenge. Who won? Chi Tian asked. Everyone was speechless for a while. We are all for your competition. You actually ran to sleep. Of course it is our 7th universe. Beerus smiled lightly. Chi Tian, you are also a member of the 7th universe, you can follow me back to the 7th universe now. The 7th universe actually won. Chi Tian was taken aback, looking at Hit and asked, Hit, my brother, how did you lose to that fat man? Hit, it's very simple. Boo turned Hit into a chocolate chip cookie and knocked him out. Beerus smiled. Chi Tian was speechless. Unexpectedly, it would be such a result. Master Beerus, how do you plan to arrange me? Chi Tian asked. I said, what is your treatment here, and what is the treatment you are still receiving when you return to the 7th universe? Beerus yawned. Aren't you internship gods of destruction on the 6th universe? Back to the 7th universe. After 7 universe, you can be my intern gods of destruction. Yes. Chi Tian nodded. Champa, is this agreed? Don't you want to be the intern of our 6th universe, gods of destruction? Just squinted for a while, there are a lot of things that I want to understand. Chi Tian raised his chin and muttered, anyway, I am still a member of the 7th universe after all. I am more familiar with the 7th universe, even the 7th universe. No matter how bad it is, that is my home. Champa, Vados, Master Champa, Sister Vados, I'm really sorry, I have to return to my own universe. Chi Tian saluted the two. Okay, it's just a pity that I can't drink milk tea. Vados felt sorry for a while. My sister is fine, you can come and play with me, I will make milk tea for my sister. Chi Tian said with a smile. Chi Tian, don't you want to continue practicing with your sister? Vados smiled and said to Chi Tian. I think. But. Chi Tian showed a look of embarrassment. You are all pretty good to me. Who do you think is more appropriate for me to reject? You really embarrass me. Don't you want to be an intern angel? Vados lowered his voice and whispered to Chi Tian, my sister can help you fulfill this wish. Really? Chi Tian's eyes lit up. Of course, Angel can't lie. Vados smiled. Okay, don't hesitate here. Beerus yawned again, how about this? Now make me a cup of milk tea immediately, and I can go home to sleep after I drink it. Then, wait until I wake up. After coming, I want to see you appear on my planet Beerus. As for this period of time, if you are willing to stay in the 6th universe, just stay in the 6th universe. Whis. Lord Beerus, you are too much. You ran to sleep. I want to drink milk tea, but I want to go to the 6th universe. This distance is very long. How is it? I'm already very magnanimous. Beerus felt that both eyelids were fighting. Okay, it just happens that I don't like fighting, so let's do it. Qi Tian nodded, without objection. I think I really want to stay in the 6th universe for a while. Frost. Bottomo. Hit. You said you don't like fighting. You defeated all 3 of us before. Champa thought about it carefully. This method is a good choice. Champa knew very well that Beerus might have to sleep for several years. It's even possible for more than 10 years. I have drunk enough milk tea for more than 10 years. It's no pity to return this kid to you then. Vados and Champa have the same idea. If Beerus slept for more than 10 years, I would drink almost all the drinks I wanted. Go wherever this kid likes to go. Save me thinking about me all day. Beerus is so sleepy. Originally, Beerus was already in deep sleep. After being awakened, Beerus was able to hold on for 3 days. But now, Beerus just wants to get a good night's sleep. Let's talk after I wake up. Anyway, when I sleep, I can't do anything to this kid. It's not a good thing to stay around. I know my sleeping posture is not very good. In case I accidentally destroy this product. What's so special? After I wake up, how can I drink milk tea? These are the inner thoughts of Beerus. After Beerus carefully considered it, it was a good thing to let this kid stay in the 6th universe. Whatever you want. Beerus did not object. I still said that, after I wake up, you have to go back to the 7th universe. Now, make us milk tea. After drinking, I can sleep well. Okay, I can make milk tea immediately. Qi Tian had no objection, and started to make milk tea at that time. Soon, 4 cups of milk tea will do just that. Whis, Beerus, Champa and Vados, 1 for each of 4. Save them from fighting. Beerus tasted it. Milk tea is still so good. After drinking the milk tea, Beerus yawned again and his upper eyelids drooped. Whis, stamp this kid so that he will be born in the 7th universe and die in the 7th universe. Beerus ordered Whis, and then asked Champa, Champa, do you have any opinion? Whatever you want. Champa had no objection. You go to bed quickly. When you sleep, I drink my milk tea without affecting each other. Okay, Lord Beerus. Whis nodded, a light flashed from the crystal ball of the scepter in his hand, and he was about to hit Qi Tian's body. Wait a minute. Qi Tian waved his hand quickly and responded, don't worry, I admit that I am a member of the 7th universe, so there is no need to stamp me. Stop it. Give me a stamp. You can think of it even if you lose it. Boy, let me warn you first, if you live here for a year, you will become the person in the 6th universe. Beerus said to Qi Tian. What if you go back one day halfway? Qi Tian asked. Then it's okay. Beerus nodded. Okay, I know, I will return in the middle. Qi Tian responded. It's fine if you know. Too sleepy. Whis, let's go back. Beerus yawned vigorously. Okay, Lord Beerus. Whis did not object, and summoned the transparent travel cube. Frieza, Cooler and Majin Buu set foot on the flying cube. Boy, before I leave, you must remember that you are now an internship in the 7th universe, Gods of Destruction. Beerus said to Qi Tian, don't shame me. It's easy to say. Qi Tian smiled slightly. Then, let's go. Whis greeted and waved to Vados again. Call out. Whis took Beerus and the others into a bright flame, quickly sank into the sky, and soon disappeared. Hey, Vados, this kid is now regarded as the internship Gods of Destruction in the 7th universe. Don't give him more abilities generously. Champa lowered his voice and whispered to Vados, I always feel this kid the future achievements are limitless. Okay, I see Master Champa. Vados nodded slightly. You 3, really disappointed me. Champa turned to look at the 3 hit. Hit 3 lowered their heads. If you lose, you lose. There is no alternative. Especially that Majin Buu, too shameless. Also bring people into chocolate biscuits. Hit, after you are turned into a chocolate biscuit, do you still have consciousness? Qi Tian asked. Hit, Qi Tian, you are too much. Why don't you open which pot and hold which pot? I'm already very embarrassed. Yes, but I don't think I can react. I was thrown out of the ring by the fat man. Hit said solemnly, I was careless. Qi Tian didn't say anything. Indeed, with Hit's strength, even if Majin Buu turns into a chocolate chip cookie, it should still exist consciously. Can you continue to fight after Vegeta is turned into a jelly bean by the guy Buu? It's just that this is a ring. Even if you are thrown out of the ring, you lose. If it is really a fight to the end, Buu will definitely be tortured to death by Hit. But this is hard to say. Maybe Hit will be absorbed by Buu in the end. Qi Tian, according to my guess, the guy Beerus will have to sleep for at least 10 years, which is still less. Champa smiled and said, you stay with me for these 10 years. Give me and how about making Vados milk tea, just to let Vados nurture you? No problem, I think so too. Qi Tian nodded. Champa didn't say anything, and then he sent Hit and the others back to their respective planets. 7th Universe. Whis first sent Frieza and Cooler back to their territory. Then, Beerus glanced at Buu silently. Should I seal this product? How do I feel, keeping this fat man? I have a bad feeling. Correct, it's Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai, this idiot. Based on your ability, what are you doing to challenge this fat man? Don't you know your responsibilities? Beerus carefully considered it, and decided to seal Buu. Keep Buu, although you can better destroy the planet. But the guy Supreme Kai may not open one eye and close the other. Maybe Supreme Kai will challenge this fat man. Supreme Kai will die miserably. Although I also sealed the old Supreme Kai guy. Even if Supreme Kai is dead, I will not disappear as long as the old Supreme Kai is still alive. But, I always feel a little uneasy. Seal it. This way I can sleep more at ease. Whis, go to the earth. Beerus greeted Whis. Okay, Lord Beerus. Whis nodded, taking Beerus and Buu to fly quickly towards the earth. Buu, what do you mean? Why go to the earth? Do you still want to seal me? Buu's triangular eyes stared, wishing to turn Beerus into chocolate. Hey, say that after I won the game, you are going to set me free. Buu said. I said so, but I changed my mind again. Beerus grinned. Buu's face changed color, but you can rest assured that when I wake up, I can unlock your seal and return you to freedom. Beerus patted Buu on the shoulder. 10,000 grass and mud horses passed by Buu's heart. You wild cat, you liar, you running the train. It's just that Buu doesn't dare to do anything to Beerus now. Buu clearly knew the gap between himself and this cat. If I did it, maybe I would be beaten to death by him. Buu still has this sense of crisis. The Earth will soon arrive. The three of them landed at the place where Majin Buu was previously sealed. The sealed eggshell is still there, lying on the mountain. Snapped. Beerus wasn't very polite either, and released a group of supernatural powers at Majin Buu. Suddenly, Majin Buu was beaten into the eggshell by this supernatural power. Snapped. The eggshell is combined into one. Majin Buu was sealed again. Next, I must have a good night's sleep. Beerus was sleepy. Whis, don't wake me up this time. Understood, Lord Beerus. Whis nodded. On the way back to the planet Beerus, Beerus really fell asleep, and fell asleep on the way. After returning to the planet Beerus, Whis threw Beerus into the castle, allowing him to sleep peacefully. It's a pity. After a long time tossing, I drank a cup of milk tea. Whis sighed. To drink milk tea in the future, you have to go to the 6th universe. Beerus, you are too bad. Since Qi Tian has become an internship in our 7th universe, Gods of Destruction, just let him come to our planet. Ah, I seem to understand. Beerus was worried that when he was sleeping, someone accidentally destroyed Qi Tian. Do you think I can't protect Qi Tian? Whis shook his head, feeling boring. Supreme Kai World. Master Supreme Kai, am I right? Jebbet rubbed his eyes and looked in the direction of the earth with some surprise. This is just Jebbet's conditioned reflex to look at the earth. Because if everything is fine, whether Supreme Kai or Jebbet, both of them will look at the Buu seal on the earth. Majin Buu is a time bomb. Supreme Kai felt that this guy was too dangerous. Have to guard. What's wrong, Jebbet? Supreme Kai asked. Master Supreme Kai, that's Majin Buu's seal. Jebbet pointed to the direction of the earth, as Buu sealed again. What? There is such a thing. Supreme Kai also opened his eyes wide, and immediately looked in the direction of the earth. Adertisement. From this look, Supreme Kai is also full of surprises on his face. Sure enough, it was the seal of Majin Buu. Buu was sealed again. That cat speaks for words. Although I don't know what he took Majin Buu to do. But he was able to seal Majin Buu again, and he was an amazing guy. Really sealed. Supreme Kai breathed a sigh of relief and said affirmatively, that is indeed the seal of Majin Buu, and the person in there is indeed Majin Buu. Great, Lord Supreme Kai. Jabite said happily. Jeebit, don't be too happy for now. Supreme Kai sighed, we still don't know the origin of that cat. That's also, I really don't know who they are. Jabite shook his head. Since Majin Buu has been sealed, the cat doesn't know where it is going. In a short time, our universe shouldn't have any big problems. Supreme Kai muttered. Master Supreme Kai, I'm still a little uneasy. Jabite frowned, and then proposed, Master Supreme Kai, do you think this will work? With that, Jabite said his thoughts. What, you said you want to bring Majin Buu's seal to the Supreme Kai world? Supreme Kai was stunned. Yes, Lord Supreme Kai, please think about it. Our Supreme Kai world is a sanctuary, and ordinary people can't reach here. Jeebit smiled, it would be better to put the seal of Majin Buu under our noses. Supreme Kai's eyes lit up. Also Master Supreme Kai. Jeebit continued, the Earth today is not the Earth that Majin Buu was just sealed off. Very high technology has been born on the Earth, and it has a strong destructive power. Just in case a missile accidentally hit Majin Buu's seal, Majin Buu will still come out of the seal. Although this probability is small, we have to guard against it. You were right, Jabit. Why didn't I think of such a good way? Supreme Kai felt that Jabit was too right. So, shall we leave now? Bring the seal of Majin Buu. Jabite proposed. Okay, just do it. Supreme Kai did not object. The two said that they would do it with their hands, teleported directly to the Earth, and successfully found Majin Buu's seal. The two directly brought Majin Buu's seal back through instant transmission. Looking at the Majin Buu seal that appeared in the Supreme Kai world, Supreme Kai and Jeebit looked at each other and smiled. Very good. This product is now under our noses, and the Supreme Kai world is so quiet, will it not come out again this time? You have to find a suitable place to put it. Supreme Kai muttered, and then his eyes lit up, and said, yes, Jabit, how about we put this seal next to the Excalibur? Next to the Excalibur? Jeebit was taken aback for a while. Yes, put it next to the Excalibur, it just happens that the Excalibur can suppress his magic power. Maybe after a few years, Majin Buu will be melted by the Excalibur's magic. Supreme Kai feels so smart. That's a great idea. Jabit also gave Supreme Kai a thumbs up immediately. Lord Supreme Kai, you are so good. Why didn't I think of such a good idea? The two of them carefully held Majin Buu's seal and came to the top of the mountain where the divine sword was. Supreme Kai put the seal of Majin Buu next to the Excalibur. Well, use the power of the Excalibur to suppress Majin Buu's seal. What a great idea. This way Majin Buu would never wake up again. Moreover, maybe after many years of suppression, Majin Buu will be completely killed. I'm so smart. Supreme Kai feels that his IQ has exploded at this moment. It's a pity that the sword can't be pulled out. If you can pull it out, just insert the divine sword into Majin Buu's seal, Majin Buu will be finished on the spot. But the effect should be good when placed next to the Excalibur. Great, Lord Supreme Kai, so that Majin Buu is watching under our noses and suppressing it under the mighty power of the Excalibur. I have to see how he will run out. Jabite smiled. Even if it comes out, I am afraid it will become a pool of water. Jeebit, so we can sit back and relax. Supreme Kai nodded. Master Supreme Kai, what plans do you have next? Jabit asked. Next I want to practice well. Supreme Kai thought for a while and proposed. Cultivation. Jabit was stunned. I want to make myself stronger. Supreme Kai replied, I am the greatest god in the universe. I can't let that cat be left behind. You were right, Lord Supreme Kai. Jebi said, I will cooperate with Lord Supreme Kai. Jeebit, do your best. Supreme Kai smiled, perhaps in a few years, we can be as strong as that cat. When that happens, we won't be afraid of Majin Buu. Master Supreme Kai is so right. Jabite replied excitedly, we should practice well. Since that cat is so powerful, Master Supreme Kai will definitely surpass him. Let's start with the basic skills first. Supreme Kai said, let's go down, I want to improve my speed first. Okay, I will cooperate with Supreme Kai, Jabite responded. The two came to the bottom of the mountain and stood opposite each other. Jabit, next you release energy bombs to me, I will try to avoid all these energy bombs. Supreme Kai proposed, by this method, I can increase my speed. No problem, I will continue to increase the speed of the energy bombs. Supreme Kai adults should avoid them. Jabite smiled. Come on. Supreme Kai nodded, ready to escape. Shoo. Jabit released energy bombs one by one, greeted Supreme Kai's body. Supreme Kai's speed is also very fast, avoiding the attacks of energy bombs in a thrilling manner. Boom. The Supreme Kai world made a loud noise. About an hour or so passed. Boom. One of Jabit's energy bombs hit the mountain of Excalibur at that time. Boom. The mountain collapsed at that time. Supreme Kai and Jabit were taken aback. Not good. Supreme Kai's face changed again and again. Something has happened. Jabite exclaimed. Wow. The mountain collapsed. The seal and the divine sword rolled down at the same time. Puff. The next moment, under the gaze of Supreme Kai and Jabit, the Excalibur was suddenly inserted into Buu's seal. Supreme Kai. Jabit. Me. Is there such a thing? Now Buu must be dead, right? Excalibur is inserted. The smoke dissipated little by little. Both Supreme Kai and Jabite stared at Majin Buu's seal and the divine sword inserted on the seal without blinking. Jabit, our luck is always so good. Supreme Kai's tears were almost falling. This luck is almost no one. Yes, Lord Supreme Kai. Jabite nodded vigorously. Not far away. The seal of Majin Buu. Buu felt that he hadn't been sealed for long, and he was sleeping well. Puff. Buu felt something stuck in his body. It's a sword. What is this? Did that cat change his mind and come to kill me again? Can't it? I'm already very obedient. I sleep when you sleep. When you wake up, let me out quickly. I want freedom. But what do you mean by inserting a sword into me? Do you want me to go out and then kill me? Buu's thoughts are relatively simple, and his ideas are also very strange. After all, Buu's current thinking is like a child. However, Buu is not actually a fool. Buu found out at the time that the seal had been broken. It's just that Buu was afraid of the cat and didn't dare to go out easily. Buu got a piece of meat along the gap in the seal to the outside, and looked at it cautiously. Huh, not that cat. Isn't this Supreme Kai guy? This product is nothing great. Majin Buu looked around carefully again. After confirming that there was no cat at the scene, Buu breathed a sigh of relief. Supreme Kai and Jabit also looked at Majin Buu's seal with some caution. After looking at it for a while, Buu's seal seemed to be quiet. The two also breathed a sigh of relief. Master Supreme Kai, then Majin Buu will be killed directly by the Excalibur, right? Jabit guessed. I think it should be. This is the most powerful sword in our sanctuary. Supreme Kai nodded. Great. Jabit nodded vigorously. Jabit, I should praise you for this matter. Supreme Kai smiled and said, if you hadn't hit the mountain where the Excalibur was on the right side, the Excalibur would not have been inserted in the seal of Majin Buu. This, ha ha ha. Jabit was a little embarrassed. I just killed this terrible monster by accident. Shoo. Just when Supreme Kai's voice fell, layers of pink gas emerged from the seal. What's the situation? Supreme Kai's eyes widened, showing a look of disbelief. What? This is. Jabit was also pale. The two immediately looked at the layers of pink gas. I saw the pink gas quickly condensed and deformed. Supreme Kai's face became very ugly. Jabit is also like a concubine. Majin Buu, actually still alive, snapped. Majin Buu quickly condensed and deformed and turned into a chubby appearance. Immediately afterwards, Majin Buu fell from the sky. Ha 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 ha. Buu laughed loudly. So fun. I actually came out again. Supreme Kai's face was pale, and his whole body was trembling with fright. Jabit was also dumbfounded. This is in trouble. After Buu appeared, he immediately looked in the direction of Nappa's Excalibur. This is the thing that pierced me. I slept soundly. You woke me up. Buu stepped forward and pulled out the Excalibur. This sword is so heavy. This sword hurts me so much. Buu casually threw the Excalibur into the air. Boom. Boo released a powerful energy in his hands, directly turning the divine sword into scum. What? The Excalibur was ruined by this guy. Supreme Kai's face changed color. That's the divine sword, was it destroyed so easily? Jebat also widened his eyes, showing a look of disbelief. This is too speechless, right? I'm hungry. Boo grinned, patted his stomach, and smiled at Supreme Kai and Jebat. Boom. Supreme Kai glared at Boo fiercely. Suddenly, a powerful force hit Boo's body. Boo just raised his head a little later, just like a okay person, squinting at Supreme Kai again. Become chocolate. The tentacles on Boo's head flashed a pink flame. Snapped. Supreme Kai didn't even react, and immediately turned into a piece of chocolate. You become chocolate too, Boo said, and a cloud of pink lightning spurted out of his head again. Snapped. The pink lightning struck Jebat's body. Jebat immediately turned into a piece of chocolate. Boo picked up two people and turned them into chocolates, and ate them beautifully. Unpalatable. There is no cat to entertain me with delicious food. Also, what is this place? This world looks so strange. Planet Beerus. Beerus fell asleep. His body gradually became transparent. Beerus never thought that he had already sealed the old Supreme Kai guy, but he still couldn't escape. Hey, Lord Beerus. You are disappearing. Whis wiped his sweat and hurriedly said to Beerus. Beerus woke up suddenly, his eyes widened. In the next moment, Beerus saw his disappearing body. Whis, what is going on? Beerus asked quickly, is Zeno-sama trying to erase me? Whis, Master Zeno wants to erase you, how can it make you transparent? It seems, Lord Supreme Kai is dead. Whis sighed and shook his head slightly. What, even if the young Supreme Kai is dead, isn't the old Supreme Kai still alive? Beerus shouted. I'm afraid the old Supreme Kai has also encountered an accident. Whis was speechless for a while. What, didn't I seal him up? Why did this happen? Beerus asked. Hurry up and find a way to save me, Whis. There is no way, it's too late. Whis shook his head. Master Supreme Kai should be dead. Master Beerus has also disappeared, and now only Master Beerus's brief consciousness is left. Beerus. Also, without the Angel of Gods of Destruction, you will also lose the ability to act. Whis sighed. Don't we still have alternate gods of destruction? Beerus's eyes lit up and said to Whis, now I teach him my gods of destruction, and you will follow his orders from now on. Yes, let him find a way to revive me immediately. Oh, that's a good idea. Whis nodded slightly. Snapped. As soon as Whis' voice fell, Beerus turned into a bubble and disappeared without a trace. Whis sighed. Immediately afterwards, Whis took out the Angel Scepter and took a closer look at what happened to Supreme Kai. After that, Whis saw Boo enjoying the chocolate that Supreme Kai had turned into. Boo's mouth was greasy. Whis, this thing is done. But, why did Majin Buu go to the Supreme Kai world again? Whis took a closer look at what happened before. By this look, Whis was even more speechless. It turned out that Master Supreme Kai brought Majin Buu over. Whis clutched his forehead, not knowing what to say for a moment. Fortunately, our 7th universe also has an alternate gods of destruction. Huh, isn't this a good thing? Now let the alternate gods of destruction turn to the right. He can live on this planet. In this way, can't I drink fresh milk tea every day? Ouch, my luck is so good. Whis' music is broken. Immediately, Whis no longer had the slightest hesitation, and directly turned into a bright flame like a diamond, sinking into the void. Milk tea, here I am. Ah, no, Chi Tien, I am here. Come back with me to make milk tea. What a waste of you staying in the 6th universe. In order to prevent any accidents, Whis immediately got in touch with Vados through the Angel Scepter while marching towards the 6th universe. What, Lord Beerus is dead? When Vados heard the news, his eyes widened and he was deeply suspicious. Whis, you are deliberately trying to take Chi Tien back, right? Can you make up a better reason? Don't say that Vados doesn't believe it. Even Chi Tien doesn't believe this fact. Beerus is dead. Stop it. How could he die? Did this provoke Zeno being erased? It shouldn't be. Chi Tien pricked his ears. What happened? Champa is not there. Champa went to send hit them. Whis, this kind of joke is not funny at all. Vados sighed. You want Chi Tien to go back and make milk tea for you. I understand your mood. But you can't make a joke with the death of Lord Beerus. Oh, Lord Beerus is really dead. Ah, to be precise, he disappeared. Whis sighed. The specific situation is that Supreme Kai of our 7th universe was accidentally turned into chocolate by Majin Buu. Eat it, sister should know. Supreme Kai and gods of destruction share the lives, so. Lord Beerus just disappeared. What, is there such a thing? Vados wiped his sweat. I seriously suspect that you deliberately killed Beerus. This is just the end of the game. Just over 2 hours have passed, right? Back to the 7th universe, your butts are not warm, right? Then Supreme Kai died. How much do you want to drink milk tea? Chi Tien. Beerus disappeared. This thing is. Let me stroke it. Supreme Kai was turned into chocolate by Majin Buu. Sister doesn't doubt me, do you? Whis wiped his sweat. How could I kill Lord Beerus for a cup of milk tea? Vados. This is also. The problem is, Beerus, you are too random. Sister, you can go and check what happened to our universe Supreme Kai. Whis sighed. I'm speechless too, okay. Who knew Supreme Kai would bring Majin Buu's seal back to the Supreme Kai world? You just need to take it home. You also put Buu's seal with the old Supreme Kai's seal. Do you mean, I want to come over to pick up Chi Tien and go back to serve as the new gods of destruction? Vados asked. Yes, please Chi Tien to prepare. Whis nodded. Chi Tien, I go. Beerus is dead. I am going back to gods of destruction in the 7th universe. I haven't had fun with Vados, talk about ideals, and talk about life. I don't want to go. Don't go or go. I want to stay with Sister Vados. Chi Tien shook his head vigorously. Oh, I'm afraid I can't help Master Chi Tien. Whis smiled and said, Master Beerus has disappeared, and the 7th universe cannot be without gods of destruction and Supreme Kai, otherwise the entire 7th universe will be erased by Master Zeno himself. Am I going to disappear too? Chi Tien suddenly reacted. Yes, Master Chi Tien is now the gods of destruction of the 7th universe. Although it has not been fully converted, he is still the person of the 7th universe. Whis explained, if the 7th universe disappears, except for me, all gods and people will disappear together. Chi Tien, he was right. Vados lowered his voice and whispered towards Chi Tien. Chi Tien was speechless. This hurts. And after Master Chi Tien took over as gods of destruction in the 7th universe, what kind of beautiful girl is there? Whis smiled. What are you talking about? What I like is a beautiful girl like Vados' sister, because she looks a lot like my first love. Chi Tien said. Master Chi Tien has taken over the gods of destruction of the 7th universe, you can find out your first love too. Whis smiled. Chi Tien, can't chat anymore. Master Chi Tien prepares well, and I will arrive at Champa Planet in about 40 minutes. After Whis finished speaking, he interrupted the call and accelerated the speed of flight. Thinking of having fresh milk tea to drink every day, Whis flew faster. Don't have any more moths. Lord Beerus, the time when you disappeared is amazing. I can finally drink milk tea every day. Well, when my milk tea is almost enough, I will let Chi Tien find a way to revive you. Whis was so happy from ear to ear. Champa on the planet. Chi Tien looked glum. Vados was speechless for a while. Your kid is going to be a formal gods of destruction, and you are still unhappy. You should be the youngest gods of destruction in this universe. You are only 16 years old. He has never been a human being of gods of destruction when he was 16 years old. It's just a pity. My milk tea, my coffee. But this kind of thing, Vados, is not easy to stop. If you stop it too much, maybe as Whis said, the 7th universe will be erased. This is what Vados doesn't want to see. After 40 minutes, Whis fell from the sky with a smile on his face, his expression a little excited. Vados, Chi Tien, how much do you want to drink milk tea? No way, who made my milk tea so delicious? Master Beerus just disappeared. Whis, you don't seem to be sad at all. Vados looked at Whis. It's really God's help to me. Cough cough, God is jealous of talent. Whis wiped his tears. It's alright, I don't know what you think. Vados rolled his eyes. You have to grab a milk tea with me. Sister, it's not that I'm going to grab you, there's no other way. Whis held back a smile. Chi Tien, before you leave me, can you make me another cup of milk tea? Vados said. Well, I will make you 100 cups of milk tea. You put it in the refrigerator and freeze it. You can drink it when you think about me. Qi Tian proposed. Freeze? How long is the shelf life? Vados was taken aback. Put it in a vacuum environment. The shelf life of 30 to 50 years is no problem. Qi Tian smiled and said, and my sister is Angel. If you want such a cup of milk tea not to break, it can still be done. You were right. Vados nodded, reached Qi Tian's ear, and whispered, what about my coffee? There is no way. Qi Tian shook his head. For coffee, when you miss me, come to my planet, I will make it for you. It seems that this can only be done. Vados sighed. And many more. I always feel something is wrong with what you said. I miss you. You just said that I missed you. Who said I missed you? I think about milk tea and coffee. Forget it, it's not important. Qi Tian does what he says. Making 100 cups of milk tea is still very easy for Qi Tian today. Qi Tian controlled 100 cups to float in the air at the time, and added raw materials to the cups. In less than a minute, 100 cups of milk tea will be done. Qi Tian waved his big hand gently, and these 100 cups of milk tea appeared beside Vados. The scepter in Vados's hand flashed a light, hitting the 100 cups of milk tea. Suddenly, 100 cups of milk tea disappeared. These 100 cups of milk tea were received by Vados in their own special space for storage. In this way, Vados can be enjoyed whenever you want. Whis scratched his head. Why didn't I think of such a good way? What a mistake. However, the stored milk tea should not taste as good as fresh milk tea. I'd better drink fresh milk tea. Then, let's go, Qi Tian. Whis greeted. Sister, I can't bear you. Qi Tian's tears almost fell, and he stretched out his arms to Vados. Vados stepped forward and had a hug with Qi Tian. Boom, Qi Tian took the opportunity to take a bite on Vados's face. Well, it smells so good. As expected to be a fairy. This taste, almost nothing. Vados wanted to avoid it. But after a brief hesitation, he gave up. In order to be able to drink milk tea in the future, let this kid give it to his face. Sister Vados, I will miss you. Qi Tian reluctantly. I will miss you too, milk tea, Qi Tian, Vados said. Don't you miss me, do you miss my milk tea? Qi Tian's face was black at that time. No, I really miss you. Vados quickly corrected. Then you come on my face. Qi Tian pointed to his face. Vados, Whis, let's go, Qi Tian. Whis greeted again. Sister, you owe me a kiss. Qi Tian said seriously, when I become an angel one day, I will come and marry you. Vados wiped his sweat. What is your logic? Why did you rise to the height of marrying me? Vados, Whis was also speechless. Put the girl on Angel, and you are the only one in the universe. Sister, then we're leaving. Whis waved. Work hard, Qi Tian, it is absolutely no problem to become gods of destruction with your talent. Vados encouraged him after all. Qi Tian stopped joking this time, but nodded solemnly. Call out. Whis took Qi Tian and made a bright flame, quickly sank into the sky, and disappeared in a flash. Not long after Whis left with Qi Tian, Champa also returned from outside. Hey, Qi Tian, I'm thirsty, get me a cup of milk tea. Champa yelled as soon as he came back. No one answered. Vados sighed softly. Hey, Qi Tian, how about you? Champa shouted. Still no one answered. Champa, your kid is too much. You won't find a place to sleep again, will you? Come out quickly. I want to drink milk tea. I'm thirsty. I hit them back but it was very hard. Qi Tian, come out quickly. Champa said loudly. Still no one. Champa had to go to Vados. Vados, what about Qi Tian people? Champa asked. Master Champa, something big happened. Vados sighed. Big thing. What happened? Champa was stunned and asked. Master Beerus has disappeared. Vados said. What? Champa's eyes widened, showing a look of disbelief. Yes, you heard that right. Vados sighed. Master Supreme Kai of the 7th universe was turned into chocolate by Majin Buu, so the sleeping Master Beerus just disappeared. Champa couldn't react a little bit. Wait a minute, I remember that Beerus sealed a Supreme Kai long ago. Champa sighed with his chin. He said that he did this to prevent Supreme Kai from being killed while he was sleeping. Because the Supreme Kai of the 7th universe is too righteous, and often does things beyond his power. The seal of the old Supreme Kai was also destroyed by Majin Buu. Vados shook his head. Champa was speechless. There was a short silence. Where is Qi Tian? Where is Milk Tea? Champa reacted suddenly. Qi Tian was taken back by Whis to serve as the new gods of destruction. Vados said. Champa burst into tears. My Milk Tea ran away. This thing is. Hey, Vados, isn't it the Whis guy who killed Beerus? The more Champa thought about it, the more it felt wrong. How long is this? Our 2 universes just finished the game, okay. Only 2 hours or so before Beerus died. Isn't it Whis that pitted it? Vados. Unexpectedly, what do you think? Whis jumped into the Yellow River and couldn't clean it. So, what about my Milk Tea? Champa wanted to cry. There is no way. Vados shook his head. Fortunately, I have a reserve. I still have 100 bottles. I won't give you a drink. I want to enjoy it myself. Snee. Whis, who was marching towards the 7th universe, couldn't help but sneeze. Who is talking about me? How do I feel like I'm back? Whis wiped his sweat. After flying for about 40 minutes. Master Qi Tian, the one in front is the planet Beerus. Whis said to Qi Tian. In other words, from now on, am I a formal gods of destruction? Qi Tian nodded and asked. Not really official gods of destruction. Whis replied. So how can I turn to the right? Qi Tian asked. You need to have a Supreme Kai that matches you before you can become a normal person. Whis smiled. In the next period of time, I will take Mr. Qi Tian to familiarize himself with gods of destruction's work, and understand the responsibilities and duties of gods of destruction. Right, but if you want to achieve the strength of Lord Beerus, you have to practice Lord Qi Tian himself. Trouble you. Qi Tian nodded. Oh, Master Qi Tian don't need to be so polite. Whis smiled slightly. You don't need to be so polite with me, you call me Qi Tian. Qi Tian smiled. What grown-ups are not grown-ups? Qi Tian is not interested in these false claims. When I can beat you, you call me your lord again. I am not your opponent at all. Snapped. The next moment, Whis took Qi Tian and landed on the planet Beerus. First of all, Lord Beerus said before he disappeared, let you come back to take over his gods of destruction. Whis said to Qi Tian, then, think of a way to resurrect him, what do you think? Me, what do you think? Qi Tian was slightly taken aback. Quietly telling you, Lord Beerus is resurrected, and you will become a true gods of destruction, I am afraid it will be indefinitely. Whis lowered his voice. How to say? Qi Tian asked. Because Lord Beerus is in his prime of life, and he doesn't mean to retire. Whis pondered, even if Lord Beerus wants to retire, I am afraid it will be 10 million years later. Qi Tian, do you want to wait 10 million years later? The same goes for Master Champa, including the 6th universe. In other words, my internship gods of destruction is just a cover. Qi Tian smiled, what you really want is Milk Tea. Wow, you got it right. Whis grinned, but didn't deny it. If it doesn't work, I will go to other universes to be gods of destruction. Qi Tian muttered, in other universes, don't you have to retreat without gods of destruction? This. Not every gods of destruction is as delicious and lazy as Master Beerus and Master Champa. Whis smiled. So, now that Lord Beerus has disappeared, it is a good opportunity, right? Qi Tian asked with a smile. Oh, faux pas. Whis covered his mouth quickly. Qi Tian. This angel, you are too cunning. You said half of the story, and let me understand the rest by myself. I seem to understand. Qi Tian nodded gently. Whis was stunned. How did you understand? I don't have to worry about resurrecting Lord Beerus. I will first become a real gods of destruction. Then, I have to take care of this universe. When I manage this universe in order, I will try to resurrect Lord Beerus. Qi Tian muttered, Whis, what do you think of this? Whis, you are still cruel. You can be considered a draw from the bottom of the pot. At that time, even if Lord Beerus is resurrected, you can see that the entire universe is so well managed by you. I am afraid that Lord Beerus will lose face and become the official gods of destruction. It is estimated that Lord Beerus will retire directly. Too ruthless. As angel, I'll give you some suggestions. You still need to do the specific things you want to make up your mind. Whis smiled. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.